Sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want you to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome to the live. Aspen Connor will be here in a sec to join us. And anyways, I guess isn't it like that? Isn't it you guys got some solar eclipse or solar ellipse or something like that? It's going tonight, to be honest, because I think ours was like this afternoon or something, but we didn't see it because, first of all, it's cloudy and miserable and raining today. Like I am frigging cold. But anyways, yeah, like does it happen? Did it happen for you guys already over there in the US in certain parts? That whole solar eclipsey thing or something? Ben, thanks, Ben. On there. But anyways, yeah. So just as I was like coming on to the live, I was like, aren't you guys doing something tonight? Shouldn't you guys be somewhere else looking at something? But I'm not sure exactly what times it was happening. You know what? I didn't like science. I didn't like math. Didn't like social studies. Yeah. What else? See, math. Oh, language arts. I could barely do. I kind of liked PE, like phys ed and art. that was pretty much my main options that I liked the most in school, just to be honest. Anyways, hi, Mr. Electric. How are you? Diane S is in the house. True crime housewife. It's a crime and shame. Hello. Streamlabs, always our good friend, Robin Brown. Hey, Robin, just by the way. So for me to see my It's a Crime and Shame messages, I don't actually usually notice them because it's like I'd have to switch accounts. But sometimes when I see notifications for Facebook, I seen something, I think it was from yesterday, where it said that you were wanting to hear my soothing voice. Yeah, well, since Charmaine's not in the running, obviously, there's just mine left. But anyways, pretty sure I just seen that message a minute ago. We had it sunny. It was great around 2 p.m. Central. Okay, that would make sense. Well, I think when some dude outside today was telling me about it when I was at work, he was saying something in 10 minutes, it's going to get darker. Didn't get darker. It's been a shit day all day today. And it's just been cloudy, miserable, and raining. Yeah. To be honest with you, I vaguely remember something when I was a kid about one of these things and that we weren't allowed to stare at it or something like that. I think my mama said when I was a kid. Yeah, total eclipse. That was it. Okay. How many years do these things happen? Like 20, 30, 50? Oh, there he is. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
Yeah. Freaking. So did you watch this total solar eclipse of whatever it is, the eclipser thing? Did you see it?
Yeah. Sonny, you're the total eclipse of my heart.
I know, right? Turn around every night. No. Bonnie Tyler.
Right. Hey, fun fact. The eclipse lasted for 4 minutes and 27 or 4 minutes and 30 seconds or 4 minutes and 27 seconds. And that song is 4 minutes and 30 seconds long.
No.
So if you had played that song
Yeah.
It would have.
Whenever I see here Total Eclipse, instantly I think about the song, right?
Yeah, it's a great
So
song.
yeah, maybe I should say this. I should be turn around, bright eyes, yeah, turn
Right.
around, bright eyes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I was not in the path of totality like Indiana. But
yeah.
I think we were like 84%. I don't know, something like that.
I
But
think we
I
were
put on my little glasses and I walked out there and I looked up and I was like, okay,
okay. That's cool. Yeah. Oh, did you
yeah,
take a picture?
no.
Oh, oh, really? I would have liked to have seen a picture,
I
maybe.
mean, I'm sure Google Images has a better one. Anyway,
Oh, right. Um, Shelby Rains, she says, okay, does anyone know what happened to make CJ not want to go back to Hendersonville? I literally have no clue. I
oh, I don't
was
know.
I was watching a little bit of some sort of dive team, like knackered dive team or something. And I
Okay.
know CJ was there and they were doing this dive in that retention pond or something. But honestly, I've been at work, have no clue what's going
Same.
on with that myself. Like I said, I um honestly, like today, as soon as we got home, the landlords wanted to come visit because they haven't like been here in 4.5 years, right? They just wanted to make sure that the walls were standing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
After 4.5 years, anyways. So they were just here. So then we went and had dinner, and then I was listening to JLR on his. That's the only thing I've listened to today. Kate, GLR, you got to stop baiting me, dude. You can't sit there and say that Christopher Proudfoot missed work with a period. It was like, how about a question mark? Because he made me
We
click because of that. I would have watched probably him anyway, but
we know the importance of those punctuation marks.
we do. Remember when somebody tore a house out of my
That's right, because we
or
put an
tore mine?
exclamation mark instead of a question mark.
Right.
I won't ever forget it.
I know, right? CGK is
Lesson
going
learned.
2 weeks. Oh, okay, thanks, Gary. Um, so yeah, so I'm not up. Like I said, it's a little easier sometimes when you have time. But today I haven't had any time. Actually, I don't
Yeah.
really have any time. And then when I do have times on my break, it's timed. Like when
Right.
you're doing customer service, you literally have to put yourself as like lunch. Clock starts ticking down on your
Uh,
breaks, and you're all I'm sitting there going is, get me outside. I need to vape. Need to vape. Call my husband. So I actually don't even look at any Facebook or anything like that on
right.
my lunches. I just don't have the time really because I'm too busy focused on trying to wolf something down, trying to vape and talk to my husband at the same time.
Right.
Well, and then
And I know we want to get into the case, but how is the job going?
today, really good because like I woke up kind of feeling a little bit stressed just because after you spend one day by yourself and then 2 days off, and then you go back and then so it's feeling. And then I sat by this really nice guy named Carlo. Because like there was only just me and Carlo, and he was so nice. And whenever I needed help, hey Carlo, I was like Carlo, Marco, Carlo. So I was like Carlo. And so, anyways, he was really nice, helpful. But I did a lot myself too, like meaning it after you do it so many times, it's really mostly the basic thing. Can you please link this card to this card? Type of thing. Absolutely. What else can I do? So I love talking with people. So
Right.
it's just like, yeah, what else can I do for you today? Anyways, so going good, but
Good.
just trying to get used to all. You know how it is with new stuff, right?
Yeah.
Change sucks sometimes, but it's inevitable. And as you get older, you're just like, no, stop with the technology already. I'm sick of it.
Now, when do you get to go like on your own, like back at home?
Oh, that won't be for probably a little over a month when
Okay.
once we do the e-commerce side of it as well.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyways, then it'll be like 3 days at home. But again, you're
Right.
logged in, type of, but at least you can sit there if you want in your
Right.
pajamas, and be like, hello, how can I help you? Okay, no. Let me just go for a nap on my lunch. set my alarm. No, wouldn't want to do that. Nothing worse when you have a little nappy there and you wake up feeling worse than you did before you went down.
Or if you're anything like YouTube's help and support, you just go, oh, does this page help?
Oh no, famous YouTube is, I'm just going to put you on hold for 3 to 5 minutes, or not hold, sorry. I'll just be back in 3 to 5 minutes. And then all they do, yeah, right. Copy paste. That's all they do. Copy paste. It's, you understand it more when you're doing it. That's just like like they say the same thing. It's like, all the time. Used to always be like calling a taxi back in the day.
Right.
They'll be there in about 10 minutes. It didn't matter if it was 15. It was always the same answer. Yeah. But anyways, yeah. I'm going to be honest. I am not a psychic. I am. Okay. I don't usually put much
I saw that
stock
coming.
You saw what?
I saw that coming.
Yep, exactly. You hear that, Shelby? Aspen saw it coming, so he's psychic too. And we're cancers, by the way. Tara was so emotional over the spots. She suggests not being searched. I just feel like it can't hurt. Wait, what?
Tara who?
Tara, who's Tara? I don't usually put much stock into it, but Tara was so emotional over the spots. She suggests not being searched. I just feel like it can't hurt. Is she a psychic? I'm taking that she's a psychic.
I'm just not sure who Tara is. So
me neither. Another another realm. Wait, isn't another realm? Isn't she that older lady? That I'm pretty sure I know who that is.
I'm not familiar with her yet.
You know what? I just got to take a boo at that. And another realm, because I'm pretty sure I think I know who that is from before. From the Suzanne Morphew case.
Okay.
Let me just see if it is. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Is that her there?
Crazy to think we're like a month away from the anniversary of Suzanne Morphew going missing.
Oh, I know, right?
Bro.
2020, 2024.
Yeah, May 10th.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking it was somebody else, but I've heard of the name many times. And I probably maybe watched her once. But I've seen the name many times. You know what? I mean, there's lots of things that can't hurt when it comes to searching for Sebastian, in this particular case. So yesterday, was it yesterday? So yesterday we were doing a live. Yeah, was it yesterday, right? Yeah. So yesterday we were doing a live, and then, Seth ended up coming into the chat. And so he ended up coming up on the panel, which was, by the way, Seth, if you happen to be watching this, it was very gracious of you. I still have questions to ask you. His internet dropped and never heard back from him. Right. Don't have his email, don't have his phone number.
I hope his doctor's appointment went well today.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Doctor's appointment for his arm. I think it was for whatever else is going on, who knows, but I think it was for his arm. But either or, so prayers to you on that, because when like Seth said that, it's kind of like me, right? And myself, and maybe you, Aspen, but it's kind of like you might see things from the outside, but on the inside, like I got some definite health issues going on that I need to always take care of. Diabetes for one, but it doesn't just stop there. I also have colitis, and stuff like that. And
he talked about that what we see on the outside is not what necessarily he's going through on the inside.
Correct.
So it really made me feel for the dude more so than I even did.
Well, that's just it. I mean, and let's just be honest. It's not like Seth is a lightweight. And he's been out there searching like every single day. Pretty much for his child, and like I said, so whatever maybe health issues or even exhaustion, but even like I said, if it's like the shoulder and stuff like that, again, do you know what I mean? It's almost like, working through whatever probably pain's going on, and you can tell because he put himself, in like a little sling there as well during the one search that we've seen on camera, and regardless, like I said, even someone in just normal shape, in a sense, is would be hard on them day in, day out, you know, child's missing, you're out there searching, you know, climbing over trees, whatever, you know, but like I said, as you get older, you know, health issues and shit kick on in as well. Anyway, so prayers to Seth on that. Thank him very much. I would, like I said, if you happen to be watching this, Seth, Sonny, you can't drink those big glasses of. Sharon Parker, you are psychic because I just finished guzzling down a big glass of orange juice. I literally was like a suction cup. It went right down. But anyways, so and I don't have orange juice that often, but I do love my orange juice. But so anyways, yeah. So Seth, dude, if you see this, please email me at acrimingshame@gmail.com. Would love to have you back on.
Right.
Just to,
It's right at the top of the screen.
it's right at the top of the screen, acrimingshame@gmail.com. But because we were just kind of going to get to the nitty gritty. Like, and I didn't like, okay, he's been asked the same thing over and over again type of idea. You know, I would like to ask some perhaps different things, but I mean, there are important things. I know that he's like, there's a part of me that says like, do you ever get tired of repeating yourself over and over and over? Because the same questions do get asked in a lot of ways, you know, or does it, you know, or does it just become natural now? Just you know, like I know like for a while there, everyone's like, you know, okay, you know, who's happened to say like I got off work, went to my truck, you know, yada yada yada, went to got to Katie's house at 8, stuff like that. But you know, my thing is that usually a parent never gets sick of talking about their child, regardless, you know, things that he likes to do, person who he is, you know, all those things. Anyways, it usually will make my eyes light up. Again, depends what type of parent you are, to be honest with you. Anyways, so if you guys didn't see that yesterday, like I said, he ended up dropping. He was having some bad connection. He says that it was between like a Navy base and an airport. So he was having some difficulties, and then all of a sudden it was just like poof, like Houdini, gone. So never to be seen from again. Well, maybe today, who knows? But anyways, like I said, would love to honestly have you on, knowing full well that you know maybe some prep questions there. I'm kind of more of an organic person, you know that, Adam. Just more organic, but there are times that you're like, no. But I wanted to ask. That was kind of like yesterday. No. Get back on here with your bad Wi-Fi. But anyways, let's see. Don't forget to hit the like, you guys, as well. Okay, spread awareness for Sebastian. If you guys haven't noticed, of course, up top there, in the pinned comment, you guys can see Seth Rogers' Cash App there in the description of this video. Is the link as well for the GoFundMe. So let me just hit refresh and see if it's gained a little bit more. No, still sitting the same. Okay, so this is just from today. So again, finding Sebastian Rogers here. 1 second. I will quickly throw that. Where did it go? GoFundMe on that one. No, come on. Right here. Should be copy. Paste. Okay. Yeah, today we're gonna chew out Katie Proudfoot's ass today. That's what we're gonna do.
So before we do that,
Yeah.
So what was? I've not seen much today. I'll be honest. Like I'm not sleuther number one today.
Okay.
But what was the body? What was with the body they found?
What body?
Does anyone know about a body they found?
Who found a body?
I sent you something Jennifer Coffindopper had posted on Twitter.
Oh,
But someone had mentioned it. Someone had mentioned a body in chat, and I honestly haven't seen anything in the last couple of.
I think this vaguely sounds familiar.
Kingsport or Kingston or Kingsport.
Yeah, but I don't believe it had anything to do with Sebastian.
Okay.
Like.
Yeah, I mean, I assumed it wasn't Sebastian, or we would have heard. But
yeah, human
it's
remains.
funny. Remember when they were searching for Riley and they found like 2 bodies in the river?
Oh, right. I know.
And now here they're finding a body.
Yeah.
It's like older guy. Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm like, how many bodies are just out there randomly, just
Oh, I
waiting?
bet you there's quite a few. I bet
That's
you
why I
there's
don't go mushroom hunting.
a
They always find them when they're mushroom hunting.
right. So that one particularly says human remains found in Tennessee on a property in Kingsport. Kingsport is in Sullivan County, Tennessee. No more details. In case your mind is going where mine did, here is a map. And then they're showing Hendersonville and Kingsport. Anyways, there has been no alleged connection to Sebastian Rogers on there. Anyways, so rest in peace, dude, whoever you are.
Yeah.
Obviously, hopefully some family will have some closure. Absolutely, once the remains are identified and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm sure there's quite a few people that have never been recovered and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Perhaps, look at all of the ones that they find, these old cases that the search dive teams find in vehicles, that have gone over and stuff like that. Anyways, prayers to that person that was found and their family. There was a whole lot of carcasses over there just laying around willy nilly. Same thing with Gabby. They found, right. Oh yeah.
Fibro be nice.
What's Fibro saying? What's Fibro doing? Where's Fibro? Where's
Fibro
Fibro?
said Adam hunting shrooms. LOL.
Not only is he hunting them, he's doing them.
Well,
No,
hey, I mean, if that trial happens
oh,
next
there
month,
it is.
you guarantee I'm going to be down there.
Yeah.
I'm going to be down there tracking through the woods.
Yeah, right. Okay. So let's get going on with Sebastian Rogers. Okay, this case really pisses me off. Not even gonna lie. If I was in Seth's shoes, honestly, remember how he was talking yesterday with us on the live, and he was saying that you asked him about how was, like, what do you picture day 43, because this is day 43, and you said, what would you picture day 43 to look like? And he's basically like saying it's like putting up a dartboard and, not just basically, picking something and doing it in a sense, because he's frustrated. He doesn't know what to do. Like, meaning, yeah, I mean, you get it. This Seth is, I'm sure he's like lost, right? He's doing what he can. I'm sure that there's some great people, helping him out, helping him make some decisions too. Like, because obviously one person cannot do it themselves, but it's one of those things, like, you got to do something, but you're not sure what you're supposed to be doing, you know. And then you have some good people, like I said, some divers and stuff, like the knackered team, and that was out there diving. And I seen CJ, like I said, Evo was out there with CJ's crime concept podcast there. And so they were going into the retention pond, just checking it over. And, if it wasn't for good people out there that help and assist, even with the vigil and stuff like that, I wanted to talk to him about the vigil as well. But like I said, he was popping in like popcorn yesterday, in, out, and type of thing, and just having some issues with his Wi-Fi. But yeah, like, honestly, like I was, like I said, watching JLR. I wasn't even gonna do a live today because I was like really cold and tired, and then I was like, whatever. I had, I was like doing fine at work today. It was just more trying to get past some of the stress. And when I feel stressed, I feel tired. So, you're just trying to learn stuff. And I just didn't, I don't have the energy to do certain things if I'm exhausted from thinking about all the new things I have to remember in my head. I just kind of like to, I'm kind of like, I like to do one thing at a time, mostly, in a sense. Does that make sense? I don't like to pack on too much stuff, or else I'll feel overwhelmed too much. But anyways, so Sebastian Rogers, like I said, I was watching JLR. Actually, JLR got me all worked up, not because he worked me up, but no, kind of, I guess in a sense he did, because, he's saying these things and he's talking about Christopher Proudfoot and Katie. And that's kind of what prompted me to do the live, is because I'm like, yeah, like, I'm sorry, but I'm a mother, and who's ever a mother out there, you know, I want to give her a good swift kick in the butt and tell her to, like that, get off your tough. Like, you know what I'm pissed about, to be honest with you, or besides everything that I've watched them do, I'm so disgusted that they took off the decal, the flyer off the
Oh, yeah,
vehicle.
the decal.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Um, and I'm sorry, but when I started thinking about it, and I started looking at all her different actions from the interviews, and just the lack of transparency, and the way that she just glides over information without giving you shit, in a sense, and it's like pulling teeth. And then I'm thinking to myself, you know what, Katie? You know what? Like, you literally are making yourself, like, look like shit in the public.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you? I'm so sorry, but how dare you take that flyer of your kid off your car because, oh, somebody might come hurt you in the campsite, da 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 da. Again, maybe your actions and Chris's, like I said, piss people off a lot. Should they be pissed? I would be pissed. Like, I'm just watching what they're doing,
Yeah.
and to me, like, this is your child, and you're taking your freaking child's picture off your vehicle, and you act like you're out there for this. Like, that's what gets me. Well, Sebastian just could be anywhere. That's why I
Right.
came here with Chris to my work. Shut the fuck up
Right.
on that. And it's like, so Sebastian could be anywhere, but let's just take the flyer off the car. And it just
Right.
sounds so selfish to me.
Right. Like Charmaine's not here, but I still have her decal on my car.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
where's
who
Charmaine?
knows what was
Where's
Charmaine?
Charmaine?
Mm-hmm. That's
Sorry,
like saying, where's
just,
Waldo? But where's Charmaine? Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm.
just kidding. Hey, Charmaine. Oh,
She's still alive. Don't worry, guys. And don't worry, you guys would be the first to know. We'd be on top of that story if something happened to Charmaine. Aspen. Don't talk about that anymore. Okay.
I'm like, hey, Charmaine. Charmaine's
Yeah.
still okay?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
So extended fasting for morbid obesity, my story says.
Ooh, that's
Katie
quite the name.
Katie needs
Oh.
to be brought in and questioned thoroughly. Sebastian may have gone through hell.
Okay. Well, first off, Sebastian is S-E-B. Shh, I didn't say that out loud. S-E-B-A-S-T.
Right.
I keep seeing people spell that with the A. Anyways, I don't know what has happened or not happened with Katie when it comes to being like questioned, and because nobody is foul play at this point and stuff like that. So like I said, obviously the LE has their job to do. I'm sure that they know what they're doing. But I'm just saying, I'm keep thinking about this whole thing about Sebastian leaving the house. And it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well,
It doesn't.
you know what? I mean, I get law enforcement have a method to their madness.
madness,
Like
yeah.
I get, like, if you followed the Brian Koberger Idaho 4 case, during the 6 weeks before Brian Koberger was arrested, you would feel really frustrated. Like, you would think that the Moscow Police Department wasn't doing anything, and it turns out that they were. So I get that there could be a lot of things happening behind the scenes, but to hear Seth last night say that TBI gives him the runaround, that they give him surface answers, that the county isn't any better. It's frustrating, you know what I mean? Because I get that there's only certain things that they're gonna divulge, but
Yes.
you want, like, this dad who's out there every day searching for this little boy. I mean, you just wish that there was, I don't know, you just wish that he was clued in a little bit more.
Well, that's just the thing. And we hear that all the time. And I always feel bad because, like, we get that the police have to do their job, the LE have to do their job. But then there's that point where it's like the parents aren't being told pretty much anything.
Right.
And then they sit in this, like, imagine being the parent that's sitting in that mode of just wanting their child back and wanting to know something,
Right.
answers this, and then it's that same old song and dance that, of, gotta keep it close to we can't give, da 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 da.
And I
But
understand. I understand TBI is not the lead on this investigation, as far as I know, they're not. But when they're involved, it's not a case that I have followed very closely. But sadly, the
mhm.
fact that look at what they did with the Summer Wells case, that doesn't give me a ton of hope,
Right. Oh, the Summer Wells case, I know that's another one, eh?
because that's the TBI.
Yeah. I just, all I know is when I keep, like, most people that have been following this case, they are as frustrated as we are, because most people that, you sit there and you try to think of all the different things. You look at, like, especially if you go down to the Google Earth and you start looking at the neighborhood, and yeah, yes, okay, you're not telling us that. No, I don't think that would be the reason at all.
You know,
To be honest with you, it's just the way that they work. Really, like, it's just the way that law enforcement works. Um, what's Jason saying? Law enforcement can't tell anything because they don't want to give right that only the culprit would know. I think, you know what? I still call bullshit on that, because I still think that there's things that they could definitely help. He's like, okay, for instance, here's a prime example, is that if they know that Christopher Proudfoot was indeed, in fact, in Memphis, right? Like, what harm is that going to do? Besides, actually, in a sense, in a favoritism towards a case. So when it's something that they could literally come out and say, like, look, we do have proof that, say, Chris Proudfoot was in Memphis, okay? So basically, social media, lay the f off of fucking Seth and his, or sorry, Chris Proudfoot and his Memphis thing. Yes, he was in. We can confirm that he was working in Memphis. They don't have to give anything more than that. Just simply, But let's say Christopher Proudfoot, right? And he had nothing to do with nothing and whatever. Like, you could ease someone's freaking, you know, suffering from the social media that are riding him for every ounce, because everyone wants to know, was Chris Proudfoot, like, he says he was in Memphis, but was he? So meanwhile, I'm not to say that he's a standing citizen, he's not. But he's getting trashed around social media all day long, when really they could just confirm, like, look, right? Then maybe
right?
some of the people would at least lay off that, because then there's at least confirmation. And that there's people out there that doesn't matter if you tell them that he was there or not, that they're still gonna make
Oh,
believe whatever they want to.
yeah.
But
There are people that think
I
that
think
Chris Watts is innocent.
yeah, claim that he was not at work that
Um,
day. Hmm.
Ro- what Robin says they may still be waiting on GPS data. Look how long it took in the Murdoch trial. Um, that was the car computer data that they were waiting on, not necessarily
Yeah,
the GPS.
right.
But I get what you're saying. It does take a while for those results to come back. But I would assume that
His
they
phone data too.
I would assume that they have the GPS of Seth, Katie, and Chris at this
Yeah,
point.
I believe.
But
But
again, Chris's car data, that his computer data, will be interesting if it comes to fruition that he's hiding something.
yeah. Now, okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I totally forget what I was saying though.
You were reading Jason's comment.
No, I was reading that, but what was I saying before that? Something along.
Oh, I
Anyways,
don't know.
well, so my thing is this: when I look down at Google Earth and I look at the area, I think of the things. You know what? Let me just play a bit of this. You guys remember the hand video? Caitlin Miller, Fox 17, the hand, the video, the one that really pissed me off, to be honest with you. It's one where they were doing that interview where you got to stare at these lovely things. All right, there you are. Isn't that so precious, right? Because they were too emotional.
Remember the weird
Yeah, yeah.
I
the
always
two of
watch
them.
hands. Like whenever people like when I watch the live streams, I always watch people's hands because like some people like, creep me out. They'll be like, or they touch their face all the time. I'm like, oh, stop. Even though I do it. Right.
What a forensic has been.
That
No,
was
and as far as I knew, I don't believe that luminol was used. I think somebody asked Christopher that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I remember that being asked.
Right. And how many times did they say they searched the house?
10 at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't forget to give this video a like and a share, guys. About awareness, first and foremost, okay? It's about awareness of the Sebastian case. And
Hey,
it just really goes without saying, hey, bossy. Just goes without saying, right? All you're trying to do is get this story out there to everybody, right? Okie dokie. So yeah, Alicia, I mean, yeah, you're welcome. I just remember, I can't remember exactly, but I just remember that being asked, and I believe it was on Smiley's World. I want to say, because that's when they did that's when Christopher especially did a lot of talking. And that's kind of when Katie was like, like, well, I don't mind if my husband speaks for me. Well, we do. Everybody else did, because everybody wants the mother to talk. Like this is what gets me. I guess this, like, okay, let me play this. Okay, let me just play it. So take us off for a minute. Let me just play a little bit of this. Go ahead.
Jason says, did anyone notice the scratches on his arms and hands the first week on the interviews? Yeah, and Charmaine originally had sent us that picture.
He said it was dogs. His dogs.
Yeah, he said it was the dogs, exactly. But if he hadn't been there in a month, so how did those dogs scratch him? Sorry.
Yeah, well, that's what he said. He said that those scratches came after he got back from the dogs.
Which that's fair. Mm-hmm. That's very possible.
Yeah, I mean, happens to my husband all the time with the cats whenever he tickles.
Especially if you haven't been home, right?
I say, oops, I sent them before I finished listening to both Katie and Chris belittling Sebastian on a regular basis. I wish neighbors, fellow worker friends, and school teachers would come forward with any info. I don't, in listening, well, we'll get back to that in a minute, but listening to JLR, it seems to be a consensus. Wait, Bossy did a live on there? Listening to JLR.
Glad to see that Sloot had time to do that. I meant Charmaine, not Bossy.
I know. I was going to say Charmaine. That was Sloot we're talking about right there is Charmaine. But let me hit play to this for a minute, guys, and then we'll come back. But listen to these first few words. I pretty much would do anything. Oh, especially when Chris says about Sebastian coming in the door, like, anyways, it makes me puke, but listen.
For us, we sit here and we wait, and hopefully we'll get an answer, or hopefully he walks through our door, which would be amazing.
Okay. I'm sorry, but when he says that, and when he comes through that front door, it would be amazing. It'd be just absolutely amazing. Honestly, those are words to me, okay? That's not a Christopher Proudfoot. That would be amazing. This is the same man that sends his son away to his dad's home because his daughter's come over. That would just be so amazing. It goes to that to me is that's just playing to the camera, putting out those words out of the mouth, but they're not actually believable. Anyways, it makes me puke when I hear that particular line, because that's something that a woman would say, more or less. A guy doesn't go, yeah, that would just be so amazing. That my stepson would come back. That little monster that he is, that little pedo or perpetrate, or what was it? A predatory monster. That'd just be so amazing, wouldn't it? Anyway, continue. Shut up, Sonny. Okay.
I was going to say, how badly do you both want Sebastian to just walk through that front door to get that call?
I'd give anything. In a heartbeat, I would give anything.
It's not measurable.
Oh, hold on. Here we go again. 1 second. That would be amazing. I would give anything. I would give anything that I would, for Sebastian, for you. I'm going to sit there and we're going to take the fifth wheel and we're going to go up to Memphis, and I'm going to take off my decal off the car. So I would just do anything for you, Sebastian, anything at all.
And notice she's soothing him.
Yes, she's soothing. I know. Isn't that funny? She's sitting here with that freaking thumb of
That's
hers.
all I could watch this whole interview was her repeatedly soothing him.
Yeah, I'm sure he has a little bald patch where his arm is there just from all the constant thumb rubbing, to be honest with you. All right, I'm sorry. I'm getting to, honestly, I'm disgusted by the way that Katie and Christopher have been handling this whole situation. As a mother, I'm pissed. I mean, okay, I can sit here and think about, certain things that people might do that obviously, we all have different personalities and we all act certain ways. I don't give a effing shit. This is your child. It's nobody else's child. It's your child. It's Seth's child.
And she's so meek and she's so, she's so meek and she's so, unable to speak for herself, but yet she's the one consoling him.
Right.
That to me is telling.
Yeah. Oh, 1 second. Do you need me, husband?
No, I'm just gonna slowly put his cupboard back in his room.
Okay. All right.
So ignore us.
Okay. Ignored. Consider yourself ignored. Okay. I just checked with the WHL website and it's the top story. Not to mention a male or female. Oh, okay. What's the top story? The body that was found? Or this one? Or Sebastian's? Yo, Aspen, that was good to you. Hello?
I'm here.
Oh, I literally had to say that a couple times. Are you sure? Because you made me feel like I was all alone for a minute.
Well, I thought you were talking to your husband. I'm sorry. I was reading comments.
No, Steph is comment. Is she talking about Sebastian's story? And it's the top story. This one. This is what you're talking about.
I assume she meant the other body that was found in.
Oh, okay. That's why I said, the other one or Sebastian's. Make it make sense, Steph. I'll make it make sense.
So, and Bossy, I'll check out your live.
Hey, Bossy, I'll have Adam check out the live for me because I know how to delegate. Okay, hold on. I'll keep playing.
Let's put it that way.
Summer's case.
There's no measurable. Anybody says all it is.
Oh, Summer's okay.
You've never sat in these shoes. You've never been in this situation. And I don't ever wish for people to be in this situation.
And what's Sebastian like? What's his personality like? What does he love to do?
He, for the most part, is happy. He likes to laugh and joke and tell you all about everything and then some. He loves games. He loves video games. He loves to play with his Legos. Even building things with me. We build little projects here and there, but he's always a character.
Are there any weird tendencies that he has that might be able to help people find him in this search?
I don't know how helpful to finding him, but he fidgets constantly. He loves shiny pennies, paper clips. He's always whenever we go to the grocery store, he always looks on the ground and looks under the register counter, and he's always looking for shiny pennies everywhere. Paper clips. He loves to bend them out of shape and play with them, fidget with them. He loves playgrounds. We've said it before, he likes fishing and things like that, but
Cats. Boy loves cats.
He does. He loves cats. It's his favorite animal. I don't know. He's a good kid.
There are no leads, nothing caught on video. Your son has been missing for 11 days now. How does that make you feel as parents?
I don't have words to describe how I'm feeling right now. I every day is harder than the last. I mean, we're out, we're looking, we're trying to make sure that everyone stays looking and doesn't let his face fall to the bottom of a feed or get covered by some other nonsense. I mean, we just want our boy home.
When you walked in Monday morning and didn't see Sebastian in his room, what was your gut reaction?
My very first reaction was, oh, he got up and got breakfast. But when I realized he actually wasn't in the house, I've never experienced sheer panic in the way that I did. And basically for every minute since that,
Okay, so just quickly, I'm going to stop that for 1 second. Okay. First of all, she does have to pass the kitchen in order to get to his bedroom. Just saying, like, the kitchen's right there. You would have thought that she would have seen that. Like, she literally has to bypass that kitchen in order to get to his room. That one, okay, whatever. At first, you know what? I'll agree. Like, you know, like when I've watched her emotions, I'm like, okay, this mother's hurting, etc., etc. But you know what? She's the last person that was with Sebastian that we know of. She's the last person. And the only person. And the more that this time goes on and the more that I watch, just when I'm looking in hindsight. So I think we're going to get to the point now where she talks about that day. Right? Look, okay. Listen, now Jason, I'm just going to point this out, but I'm not sure if you're doing a talks to text type of message, but you're totally butchering Sebastian's name.
We get what he's saying though.
I think I keep looking and thinking Sasquatch. But go ahead.
But you know, but it's true because other than the people at the restaurant and the bowling alley, there's no one else that can vouch for the last time Sebastian was seen other than Katie.
Well,
Katie's the only person that we know of that was around Sebastian after he was in public.
Well, right. And that's how it came up. Sebastian. I know. I'm not gonna lie, Jason. That's the first that I've ever seen it spelt that way. It's like Baca and Sebastian at the same thing. But so with Katie. So when I'm looking in hindsight, and I'm thinking about this whole no shoes, you know, like just no phone. Okay. Sebastian would have left on his own. Let's just say, come on now. Okay. Come on. At what part does that make sense that this child is going to leave, you know, without some sort of shoes on, without some sort, if he was going to run away, take money. Come on. The kid didn't take his phone, which he would love to do, you know, like if he wanted to get hold of his dad, because he was trying to get away from that home that night, he'd be taking his phone, contacting his dad. You know, he'd be packing himself some snackies in a freaking fridge, you know, or, you know, some snacks in a knapsack. Like, he didn't take any money. Come on now. Like, seriously, it just, like, when you look at it, it just doesn't make any sense. And then, so it's pissing me off that story doesn't make sense. And then I'm watching Katie do some of these things that, I'm sorry, as a mother, I am just shocked. No, I'm shocked and I'm disgusted. And it's my opinion, Katie Proudfoot, and I'm allowed to have it because I'm sorry, but what you're presenting to the public, you should be ashamed. You and Chris Proudfoot should be ashamed, honestly, of the perception that you have portrayed. Katie acts like she's this mere like I said, this meager, like little meerkat type of thing. You know, she lets Chris do all the talking for her. This is her child. And it's just like, yes, you take over, Chris. You talk about our, you know, like our son, as if it's our son for us, you know, type of thing. And it's like this whole thing with the hands, like, really? So you'll do anything to get your sons back. You'll, including taking off the decal off the car of your son, including leaving your home so that you can, you know, use the bullshit excuse. Well, Sebastian just could be anywhere, so might as well look up here 300 miles away. And, you know, what? Do what? Take off the decal off your car because you don't want people to know that you're in this Yogi Bear campground that everybody knows that you're at by now. But the point is that, again, at what point as a parent, when your child's missing, do you actually give a shit? Like, you think I would give a shit that people are coming around with their cameras and go, oh, well, let me take that decal off. Now they don't know who we are. But it's not the point. The point is, it's about Sebastian. So you sit there and say that you'll do everything, you know,
Right.
including walk by a kitchen that's right out of your bedroom to his room. And I guess he just must have been making breakfast or something, you know, and it's their story. They're the ones that are saying that he went out the front door. It's not the LE saying that. They're the ones saying it, that he went out the front door that was locked. And they keep
Isn't
saying
that like weird, like 10-minute drive to search for him that morning? Kind of, it just seems weird to me. Like, oh,
Correct.
my son's not here. Let me get in the car immediately and go drive around for 10 minutes.
And I think it was actually a little bit longer than that, to be honest.
Okay, was it? Okay.
But yeah, like more like, I think 15 or 20.
But still.
But still,
like,
yeah, that's just a point. But
it
still.
seems like an odd reaction to that.
Yeah. Did you have me some water, honey? Thank you. Oh, thank you.
And you know, yeah, I mean, like Alicia says, agree. Why not get out with Seth in the beginning of the help search? Reminds me of Letitia Stouch case.
Right.
Yeah, with the back to the camera. Yeah, and then, you know, and it's hard because I don't want to come down too hard on the Proudfoots because, you know, if they're innocent of everything, I feel bad because they're going through hell. But they did nothing for 8 days. And then all of a sudden they went on a random YouTube channel. They didn't go to the media. They went to a random YouTube channel.
Uh-huh.
And from then they've kind of gone only to places they could have a little bit of control over how they were portrayed. Yeah.
And I quit lying, Chris. Like he sits there and goes, people just think I'm going on females. Yeah, because you really are going on all the female channels.
Right.
Like,
which,
seriously.
hey, good. I mean, hey, not enough females in true crime get coverage, so good for him.
Right? Hey, if he thinks that they're, for some reason, I don't even know. And you know, the thing is that again, we haven't accused them of anything to do with the disappearance of Sebastian. And you know, that meaning the Proudfoots. But honestly, it's been about the actions. But and I'm still not sitting there going, oh yeah, Katie, you had something to do with it. But I'm telling you, I'm still looking at the circumstances and what makes sense. And the point is that the actions that the Proudfoots are showing are to me, okay, an embarrassment to all parents around that truly give a flying fuck about their children and sit there and be out there like Seth, who's sweating his blood, tears, and everything for his child. And the presence of the Proudfoots and how they're handling it is just abominable to me. And the more we keep seeing these lies come out of Chris Proudfoot's mouth, and the way that, like I said, that the mother, right? Do you honestly think for 1 second that I'm going to leave my home if my child has a chance of coming back home, and then sit there and go up to Memphis? Okay, like, I mean, I can understand that possibly, you know, like she was feeling perhaps threatened and she just was scared because of, you know, what they have produced to the public themselves from their own doing, in a sense. Like, meaning it's from how they presented themselves is really what's caused this outrage amongst them for the most part. People always attack the stepdad first. That's kind of a given. That's kind of what happened in this case too. Instantly people go, before they know anything, they kind of just think that the stepdad had something to do with it more so. But you know, it's like I said, it's this ongoing thing that the Proudfoots have shown, and Katie, that I'm just, as a mother, I just cannot believe what I'm seeing. And that is what's making me pissed. On top of that, I'm looking at these different things that could possibly have happened to Sebastian, and they just don't add up. And you know, the finger points really back to Katie, because she was the last one to be with Sebastian. And like I said, it's their story. They're the ones saying that he went out the front door that was locked. You know, like, it's so. Let me play some more of this, because if there's one thing that you're gonna see in this, when she asks about, well, like, let's go to Sunday and talk about, or sorry, yeah, let's go to Sunday and talk about that day. You know, like I said, just listen to what she doesn't say about that day. And this is what's pissing me off. I would, you want to hear about my son's day and what we did? Okay, 9 o'clock, we probably got up. We went over to the whatever at this time. There you go. Have a good day. Not with Katie and Chris. Especially Katie. For her to say information, the most she ever said really was, besides Nancy Grace recently, other than that, was on Chronicles of Olivia. Why didn't you do it from the start? Like, why didn't you just simply, you know, kind of say about the timeline? Because everyone really just wants to know about the timeline. Like, okay, at this time we left, you know, we went out to dinner at the Roadhouse, but she doesn't say shit. But this,
Right.
in this interview, they say the least amount of shit. And you see Christopher, he's not saying shit, but when he's on a YouTuber, he has no problem interjecting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Alicia, like Seth said to us yesterday, that because I asked that question, and Seth said, Katie has never said that to him.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what he said, Sonny?
Well, Katie doesn't. He said Katie doesn't talk. Like I can't remember exactly how he said it, but it was, so Katie doesn't talk to Seth. It's he talks to Christopher.
Yeah.
So it would be Christopher is the one that would say call him, and which he did.
But that was a question I asked Seth. Was, you know, like, you know, was it ever even suggested by Katie that, you know, is he on his way to, could he be on his way to your house? Have you seen anything, heard anything? And that was never. What?
I have to go back and listen, but because I listened to the whole thing again. But is that not when he lagged out one of the times?
Maybe.
I feel like he did when you asked that, and there might have been an answer. I distinctly remember him talking about no, like meaning that like he doesn't talk to Katie.
Well, I think that was the answer. I think he just said, no, Katie's never talked to me about it.
Or
something like that.
Something like that. Correct. Okay. So let me just play a little bit more, because I think we're at the part that I'm talking about. And just when she gets asked about the day, you know, that he went missing, just notice how you get a freaking bunch of nothingness.
Not knowing where your child is a pain that I've never known pain like this before.
And walk me through the events that happened, you know, from Sunday leading up to Monday when you didn't see him that morning.
Sunday, we were out and about. We had a really good day. We were out doing our thing, running around. You know, we had dinner that evening. And when we came home, we had a pretty good evening together as well. He was playing right up until bedtime, and then some. I let him stay up a little late. And when I told him to go to bed, you know, he's like, I love you, Mom. I love you, puppies. And he went to bed. And I went to bed around midnight. Everything seemed fine. And when I went to wake him up for school, that's when I couldn't find him. He wasn't in his room, and he wasn't in the house. And that's when I panicked.
And when you panicked, what'd you do?
There for a second and come back. Woo, that was like this timeline that was just like, if I could say, if somebody could ask about the timeline, well, we got up, we did this, went out to dinner, he was having a good day, he was playing. Let's see, and the one thing that she's very consistent on saying is, I love you, mama, I love you, puppies. At no point does she say about no thud. At no point does she say.
But I was going to say, so what time was bedtime? Because was that because she says she let him stay up late?
Yeah, this was 9 o'clock.
So wait, so at 10 o'clock, you heard she didn't mention anything about hearing a thud at 10 o'clock.
She didn't mention basically shit in this interview.
Right, but then later, all of a sudden, there's a thud.
Yep, that's what I mean. Like, she just glazed cake. So that went the way that she has said it when I've combined all the information is that we still don't know what time exactly that they got up that morning. And then they were laughing and joking, and then he called his family and was bragging. I don't know what she meant he was bragging about. Okay. And then what she says is, and then we got a phone call to come get the niece. Okay. And that's what she said, like, to come. So when Seth yesterday on the live said, well, like, what's true? Because, apparently Melissa went and got him or something like that, or Katie brought him over. Like, who's telling the truth? So somebody is lying. So the way Katie said it was that she got a phone call to go grab the niece, type of thing. And so, and even then that's kind of very unclear because she says it a different way on Nancy Grace than when she said it on Chronicles of Olivia. So according to when I compiled it, it was the fact that, so they go get this niece, then they go over to BJ's, and Sebastian has this colossal size popcorn. And then she said, and she never said this on Nancy Grace, and then she said that they got some snacks from BJ's because Sebastian likes his snacks. And then she said that she came home. Okay. So she never said that on Nancy Grace. So in my head, I'm trying to understand this because we know at Texas Roadhouse, it was just Sebastian and his mom, Katie, right? Now, we also know that they went bowling. So in my head, I have it that, okay, so you went to BJ's with this niece because you picked her up, and then you came back home, is what I'm thinking, dropped the niece back off at home. And this is why she would be saying that other people saw Sebastian that day, right, like two aunts and a cousin, because the cousin,
the bowling,
right? So I'm thinking, well, if you came home after BJ's, did you not go bowling with the family, or did you not go bowling with this cousin? So in my head, I think, okay, well, she must have then dropped the niece back off at home after BJ's, comes home, put the snacks.
I thought she went bowling with the family, but
well, that's not what was said, though. One could assume, just like I think even JLR, like people were assuming, and even Nancy Grace said it wrong, because Nancy Grace had at the end of her thing, she said something like, "Oh, like I didn't know that, like they were having dinner with the family," and I'm like, right, in my head going, well, Nancy, she never said that whatsoever,
and she never said when she dropped the niece off, yeah,
right, and she never said. Staff members, what Katie had said was that staff had seen them at the road, like meaning right, at the dinner spot. So basically, again, Katie doesn't talk about coming home. She just kind of says that colossal thing, went bowling, went to dinner, came home. And I'm like, well, what about the part where you said that you, after the freaking BJ's, you came home, put, with the snacks, put that away, and then you went back out to freaking bowling and then to dinner. So, but I'm just like I'm only basing that on her words. I don't know the actual order because she's never been clear. Like, so it's kind of like, so you went home, then you went bowling and dinner? Or,
Right.
and when did you drop off this cousin? But
Yeah, I'd like
I
to know.
know, yeah.
Katie,
So
Katie, we would like to know.
Katie,
If you
yes,
could
Katie.
just tell us, Katie.
Actually, to be honest with you, yeah, I would love to interview Katie. And I like nail firm down everything with her and that day.
Like I told you,
Every,
I would like to interview Katie. Absolutely.
yeah. Well, so many people, and no offense, but there's a lot of people that have missed the mark when it comes to Katie and this timeline.
Yeah.
But throughout all the different interviews, I've been gathering the info. Like they haven't done a ton, but they've done, at least 6, 7 in a sense that I know of. Maybe there's another 1 or 2 in there that I don't know of, but I don't know. I don't think
Right.
so, but there could be. But anyway, so I tried to nail down the timeline based upon what she has said, because really at the end of the day, the only thing that we have to go on, because it's not like Ellie's going to be like, you know what, let's just do a press conference for you true crime sleuths out there. Right. Let's just pat this down for a timeline for you guys. No. Right. So everything we are hearing is out of Katie's and Christopher's mouth, and or
Yeah.
Seth's, right? Or Ellie to what they're giving us, which is not much. So
Right.
we know about searches going on, perhaps a little bit that they're updating us on, or that the glasses did not belong to Sebastian, those type of things. But as for the
Right.
timeline, the only thing we know is what they're telling us. So they're the ones that are telling us. So anyways, let me go back to that timeline, because again,
Right.
so here she says, fuck all about the timeline, really. She just glazes over it like it's like nothing, right? And I'm like, are you kidding me? This is your 3rd interview? Are you trying to get something in there? Because I want to finish up that timeline. Did you want to say something quickly?
All I wanted to do was acknowledge the forgotten DV survivors. Says Katie is not a mother. My boys and I have been homeless for months now because we fled severe abuse. We left everything behind with the abuse. Homeless, but my babies are safe together and happy now. And forgotten, I'm so sorry that you're experiencing that, but your words could not be truer for what I feel like I would be like if I had children.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry that you're going through that, but you sound like an incredible mother, and you're doing what your children need and putting their needs in front of anything else, and you're going to be okay.
The way it should be. So I am a domestic violence survivor myself. I'll say that I don't usually use that term myself. But I did not have children at, like at that point when I was in the most abusive relationship. But again, so I can absolutely relate to that. Most of my life, I've been in situations where I've been in an abusive relationship, but when you have children, that's a whole different ball of wax than from when I didn't say, like, I have children with my ex-husband who became abusive towards the end. That was a 17-year one, but the 11-year one before that, I didn't have no children, but it was a complete abusive relationship. So bless you, prayers to you. And again, our children are everything. It's our job to protect them. And like I said, there's highs and lows in life, but at the end of the day, obviously, well, I can hear, sorry, Montana meowing in the background. She's a daddy stucky. She's trying to get out of the room. There. Okay. He's coming to get her. I'm not sure if you heard that or not, but anyway, she meows pretty loud when she wants out. But right. She left everything behind, with the abuse, homeless, but my babies are safe. So I'm so sorry that you're going through these difficult times, but I know that always things are like a roller coaster in life, and that you just kind of sometimes have to ride the wave and kind of block out everything and just do what you got to do to get through it. But knowing that, like you said, you and your babies are fine, even if you're going through a very struggling time at the moment. So prayers to you, and prayers that everything in your life starts to get better, forgotten. Okay. So yeah, and that goes to anybody that's going through anything, right? Like I said, we all go through things in life. We all have our ups and downs. Some people have it worse and stuff than others, or go through more things than others in this lifetime and stuff like that. And it's hard. Life is not easy. It's hard, and in this particular case, like I said, when you got babies, when you're in an abusive relationship and you got children to think about, and it's hard to get out of sometimes,
Yeah.
because people get stuck because they got no place to go, don't know what to do, no big support behind them and stuff like that, and it can be very difficult and hard. Absolutely. So I
And
commend you for your strength.
I want to let you get on to what you're, but I do want to really quickly. One more thing I wanted is, Bossy, I could not agree with you more. And mainly the last sentence you said, when you said you don't realize the trauma you can carry and cope with, you are 100% right. Because sometimes it's not until years later that you realize that it's not normal that you've carried and coped with the stuff that you've carried and coped with.
Mm. Yeah. Huh. See what Forgotten says? Especially when you're fleeing from LE.
Yeah.
CD is she? Maybe she's talking about CD. Analysis of the crime with CD. That's our cop friend. Yeah. Is it UCD that she's fleeing from? No,
I
just
can
kidding.
think of a few other LE it might be before him.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen many of shows where, like I said, there's good and bad in everything and everyone. Oh, now I feel like I almost want to break out in song on that one. It's good and bad in everyone. Okay.
But
But
I didn't mean to make that take a turn, but I did want to acknowledge those comments. So
yeah, absolutely. No, that's perfectly fine. But anyways, but yeah, there's like, I mean, the Forgotten. I remember this case when this cop literally he literally got his girlfriend, our wife, I should say, institutionalized because he was basically doing revenge on her, and he basically institutionalized her, sat on top of her, but thank goodness for body cam. Or else maybe he would have gotten away with it. But literally the stuff that, like I said, doesn't matter what who you are, doctor, lawyer, cop, there's good and bad in all those ones. And I've seen a lot of ones where there's, like I said, some really abusive like police guys. But then there's a lot of good people out there. But so anyways, I feel for you, because that's I instantly went through that is a few cases that I've watched recently to do with that. Anyways, prayers to you. Okay, so back to yes, mine tried to also. My ex-husband is a sheriff. Oh, what are you gonna do about that then, Adam? What's your advice? He's a sheriff. Oh, that's the ex. Wait, hold on. Ex-husband is a sheriff. Is this the one that you left, or is this?
Yeah.
Or did you go
that's
from?
what she's saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
And okay.
That's scary. That's scary. I'm sorry, Forgotten. So, especially if you live in a rural area, it can feel hard to get away from that.
Yeah. Actually, 2 secs. 2 secs.
Sorry.
No. I'm just getting in 2 secs. You talk for a second. I vape for a second.
Should change name to Survivors of TV. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Did you switch things on me?
No, I was just I'm sorry, I didn't pull it up. I was just reading. I'm pretty sure I heard Seth say he heard dashcam audio from Katie Proudfoot's car between Katie Proudfoot and Sebastian on the way home. Robin, I heard that as well. I've not heard him say that, but I've seen it said that he said that. I'm not sure where he said it though.
Sweetie Pie Low said the same thing as well. I remember that.
Yeah,
So
I myself have not heard Seth say it, but I've heard it reported.
Aspen, it was one of the questions that I wanted to ask him yesterday. Like once we were getting into the questions, I really wanted to ask him a few of those things because I was not sure about that as well.
Right.
The whole dash cam thing. Okay. So going back there, right? So I'm at the point where she says that she's gone out to dinner. Okay, so the Texas Roadhouse is where it was. Like I said, at no point did she say that, but it came out, and then Seth Rogers said where it was as well, like to confirm that, because he said he watched the video of his son, and he was wearing, like I said, Katie had said he was wearing blue jeans, and I guess according to Seth, he said like a bluey light gray type of long sleeved shirt, like the typical long sleeved shirts that people are like my husband wears, type of thing, with Carhartt on it. But anyways, okay. And then so apparently there was this you didn't see Sebastian, but you could hear his voice because apparently it was said that Katie had dash cam in her vehicle. So, anyways, I did want to ask Seth about that, see if that was true. I know that Sweetie Pie Low told me about that. And again, so it wasn't like it was confirmed. That's why I put apparently in the video that I made for Sebastian with all that information in it. But anyways, okay, so Katie, right, basically had said that that about garbage day, that taking out garbage or whatever, but that he was playing in his room, and then he had come out and said, like, good night, mama, good night, puppies, which was around 9:00. Okay, that was Katie's story. And I'm just trying to give the full timeline. If I take all the interviews and put it into one packed filled day, and then all of a sudden we hear about a thud. Now, at no point does Katie even say that she was talking to Christopher Proudfoot. It's only Christopher Proudfoot that has said that. At no point. She just literally, she didn't talk about doing school books for school, that she had to do this chapter book. That came out again on Nancy Grace that time, that she was, in the living room. She was, working on this chapter for school. But at no point has she ever said that her and Christopher were talking for 2 hours and 15 minutes. So, like, it's those questions of like, why have you been so sparse on your information? Why does someone have to nail you down in order for you to, in multiple interviews, just get a freaking ass timeline for Sunday, right? Like, the whole point is that it's the timeline that matters. And yet she just dances over it, doesn't talk about things, talks about things. And then at what point, she talks about a flashlight, that he had that's missing. And it's kind of like thing you didn't hear her talk about it after that. Like, she talked about it on Duchess, and then you never really heard her talk about that. Why not? Like, why is it that she just seems to have this hard time just saying what happened that day? It's just been through multiple interviews, and you don't have to work that hard with Seth. Seth, hey, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, thanks. Right? And so that's why so bottom line is 10:00, you hear a thud. She says, Bubba, did you fall out of bed? He says, and then she says, for the first time, we hear that, right? She, no, ma'am. Then she says, well, I don't care what you're doing in there, but get your, butt to bed. Now, in another interview, she doesn't even say the part that Sebastian said or she said. The only part she says was, well, I don't care what you're doing in there, get yourself, butt to bed. And the next thing you know, it goes from till 6:00, 12 to 6 she went to bed, basically, which is on the main floor. Sebastian's room is in the front of the house. Faith's room is behind Sebastian's room in the back of the house on the right-hand side. Above that is, above the kitchen area, garage is the loft. And their room, Katie's and Christopher's, is the one, kind of like, I'll call it the sunroom, because it's off of the back porch that has that door. So there's two doors. There's the Frenchy type big doors in the living room that lead out to the back. And then there's the bedroom door from their room that leads out to the back as well. Now, that being said, that's not because Katie all said that in one interview or whatever.
You had to piece it together.
I had to sit there and piece it all together and try to understand. Yeah. And I'm trying to understand this timeline. And so when I look at that, and then I look at, again, when we're looking at, let me just go to this for a second. Okay. You guys can see that? No, not yet. Okay. Where am I? Somewhere. Hold on. Let me back myself out for a second. Okay. So now Seth did make a comment. He said something about the garbage truck. He goes, and it was across the road. It wasn't even, and I wanted to re-ask him about that. Okay, so this house has a camera right there. Okay. News 5, Nick Perez shows it from this angle when he's looking down from that area to the common ground. Okay, so there's plenty of homes in a sense that have Ring doorbell cameras. So if we go back over to, the Proudfoots over here. Come on, giddy up. Okay. Right? So they're saying that the 2 lights in the garage over here are always on. That the floodlights, like here, and whatever other ones they have, are not on. Even though there's like a freaking camera thing right here. There's like a camera right here on the corner here. That's one that JLR was pointing out, I recall. Unless that's no, he pointed that out like a camera. But anyways, so other than that, right, all that you could see, and it's hard to tell because this isn't how it looks, but that there's like these lantern things in the garden. This is Sebastian's room right here. This is like, I guess this is that little nookie room that we've seen in pictures, and then the kitchen is just over here. But anyways, so there's these couple of lanterns. Now, there's a home across the street that has a camera that can see the side of the garage and the front door. That leads me to believe that it's this home here. Could be wrong. This is where a cop lives right here. If that's 111, yeah, an LE officer lives right here. Now, JLR was saying, here, let me just kind of come back to you guys for a second. Where are you? Okay, sorry. So JLR was saying, when I was listening to him, he was saying that he was doing a live. And while he was doing a live, neighbors from the area here drove down to where he was doing the live, and that they were on the phone with another neighbor. And basically, JLR had said that these people literally came down to see him, and they were having this 3-way type of conversation. Someone's on the phone. The neighbors had come down there from where he was doing his live, and they were saying that virtually nobody believes their story, that it's BS, right? And basically that the Proudfoots being gone, they want them gone. But nobody believes their story that Sebastian just left. So I've seen other neighbors say that. I've seen another neighbor post about that. I'm not going to go search for it, but anyways, and JLR was also saying that when he was in a restaurant, that him and Magnolia were in a restaurant, and I think it was this waitress, I think, that kind of patted him. Was it the waitress that patted him on the shoulder and said that that your bill is paid for? So JLR said he went to go thank these people for paying for the bill, and basically the person is saying good job, keep digging, and that this person was actually a longtime friend of the Proudfoots. But as you know, a lot of information has come out with regards to Christopher Proudfoot. So you never know somebody's story. What might seem like it's one way on the surface. And again, and it goes through for anybody. Like I said, there's a lot of cons and YouTube creators and stuff like that. And like I said, you don't know somebody's past unless you actually search somebody up. But anyway, so these people are getting firsthand knowledge from the news and the stuff going around from Nina, from the CPS, and Chris talking himself, and people are being like, oh shit. I can't. Well, Michelle Abbott, I've already said my piece about JLR before. in a sense. And I've also said why I watch him. And so I know JLR's past. Okay. Like I said, I'm not nobody's fool when it comes to personalities or someone. So I had looked up JLR and I had seen a plentiful stuff about JLR. Okay. Does JLR have an unsavory past? Absolutely. He spent over 10 years in prison. Absolutely. Why? Again, he told that story himself later on, but I already knew it before he put it out there. Okay. Now, bottom line is that so like I've said, at the end of the day, JLR was somebody that I hated to like, and type of thing. What is that saying? You love to hate him, hate to love them. I love boots on the ground. JLR might have done a lot of things, absolutely, right? It's not my lifestyle that I personally live, but hey, you know what? I think that true crime is JLR's niche. He knows, let me put it this way. He absolutely knows what he is doing and how to do it and how to achieve the goals. The guy is not stupid by any means. He's very smart and he knows what he's doing. Now, in saying that, do I see a heart behind JLR? Yes, I do. Especially when I saw JLR and there were some kitties in the road. And he was like, and he has a cat at home. Okay. Now, I'm that type of person that usually I'll dismiss someone for the rest of their life. I'll be like, can't do it. Can't watch them. Da 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 da. But, I've had to take another second look at myself as well. Okay. And realize that, maybe I judge people too harshly because I usually don't give people a second chance. Once they burn me, once I feel like somebody is a swindler, etc., I have no use for that person. Okay. But I had to revisit myself as a person. And if I feel like someone is perhaps trying to change their life and do good things, and JLR, he knows how to, again, he knows what he's doing, right? This true crime thing that he's doing. And I want to say that JLR will say he's a journalist, right? Like a gonzo journalist. Not so much of a YouTube creator, but he likes doing boots on the ground. He found his niche, and it's an honest way, right? For YouTube paying you, he's doing something that he enjoys doing, etc. So my thing is this. Maybe I had to look at myself a little bit and realize now, when somebody is a complete con person and they still want to go on that path and whatever and stuff like that, and they show no signs of changing who they are, okay, yeah, got no time of day for you. Okay. I appreciate JLR's boots on the ground. Absolutely. I think that is a benefit for anyone that does boots on the ground, and we get to see that. And you would not get to see that stuff if it wasn't for JLR or people that do boots on the ground. Do I appreciate that? Absolutely. Did I have to look at myself in the mirror and say, you know what? Maybe you're being too harsh. Maybe you're being too hypocritical, Sonny, in a sense. So JLR might have lived a whole different life than I have ever lived. But honestly, he's doing a thing on YouTube that is his niche. And he does it well. I wish I had that golden touch, to be honest with you, that he seems to have. But, I just do me. He does him. And either you like him or you don't like him. Either way, like I said, I've talked about this multiple times. And I appreciate the work that he does. I do.
Right.
Doesn't mean I agree with everything, type of thing. But I see someone who found his niche in the true crime world, doing what he wants to do, and honestly,
Hey,
making an honest living from it.
yeah.
You know,
You do you, boo.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to say about JLR. Like I said, it takes a strong person, to admit that, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm being too harsh on people. Now, someone like Joseph Morris, who tried to literally lie and sit there, like Joseph Morris is the guy that, with the Idaho case, that tried to deceive people with the domestic violence video and try to use it like it was for Idaho. And then he manipulated the Globe and Mail, or the Daily Mail, and he manipulated, and then he lied about it. Okay. JLR, and it could have been because at the start I kind of blasted him, and other people did too, JLR, because they're like, hey, this guy's like freaking spent 10 years in prison, da, 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 da. But JLR came out and actually talked about it, right? And that was my thing. It's one of those things. It's going to come out. People are always going to dig up your past, especially if you get bigger on YouTube. So you know what? You might as well just fucking own it. You might as well just own it, talk about it, let people know. That way they can judge for themselves whether or not they still want to continue following. So I know who JLR is in a sense, by Google and the information out there. I also got my own eyes, ears, to be able to watch them and determine what I feel. Okay. Like I said, I'm not that same person that JLR was or is. I've never spent time in jail. I've never tried to con people out of money and stuff like that, or whatever it all is. I never tried to be no nephew in the Sandy Hook. You didn't freaking sue people and make it into the Guinness Book of World Records and stuff like that. But hey, I'm not even going to lie. I mean, the guy was literally pretending he was Jewish, standing beside freaking, what's her face?
Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy's got freaking testicles the size of an elephant, to be honest with you. That guy's got tenacity.
Can I just really quickly, I wanted to say, hi, Delphi Dummies.
Oh, hi, Delphi Dummies.
Thank you for joining us. And also, I really quickly also wanted to say, Aspen Connor is Richard Allen's pen pal. Adam is a femboy. Hey, let's just put it all on the table, right? There you go.
Compliments. Yeah. Now, did you take care of that one, or do you want me to?
Ben took care of it.
Oh, Ben's always there for us. We know that. Anyways, again, at the end of the day, like him or lump him, I like watching JLR. He entertains me. And I actually enjoy watching him. Like, honestly, I'd rather watch him any day than watching some boring ass podcaster that basically makes you freaking go to sleep. I'd rather listen to JLR any day. He's got a sense of humor. He's got a lot of things to say, and he's entertaining.
Just write a love letter. God, it'll be shorter.
Oh my! Just write a love letter. No, but I literally did a whole 360 almost. And the thing is that, like I said, I had to come off my high horse, and realize, like that everyone, like nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes, but what do you do with those mistakes to become better is, and you see people change, I mean, heck, there's that one guy that freaking came out of prison, and his name is Larry somebody or another. He started off with like, what's his name? What'd you say? Oh, okay. And like he literally has a couple million subscribers. And when my husband was watching him, and Larry somebody, and anyways, he was at like 50K subscribers, and he was talking about all his time in jail, and he was just being honest, and I'm like, good on you, buddy. Like, you spent all this time in jail for jewelry heisting and all this stuff. You're changing your life around, and you're trying to make it better. And heck, the guy has over probably 2 million subscribers now in a couple of years, because people like honesty. So for JLR to put his shit out to the world and just be honest with people, that's what people know, because then look, I've done this, type of thing. I've paid my dues. I've done this, and then it's up to the person to decide, hey, do I still like watching JLR? Right? It's when people hide shit. Right? And the thing is that when you're a YouTube creator, you can't hide shit. People are going to dig your freaking butt 6 feet under for all the information they can. And all I have to say to you is, go to town on me. Go find whatever you want. do
You
not
can't
care.
you should never put yourself on a public platform and expect for your secrets to be
Not to be
to
hidden.
be
Yeah,
to be kept secret.
yeah.
Really quickly, I did want to say hi, CJK. Mwah.
Hi, CJK.
So I know this is totally a right turn, but anyone that likes college basketball, I think that game's about over. Is Connecticut still winning? I don't know if anyone's watching, but
I don't, for what, basketball?
yeah, the college basketball championship is tonight. And it was not close, but last time I looked, Connecticut was ahead.
Mm.
So anyway,
Robinson, so calling the cops on Jaden saying he was pointing a gun was honest? Nope. It's one time. It's good having his camera on was good. I don't know anything about that, to be honest with you. I vaguely heard of this, but I actually don't know what, like, I just vaguely heard of it. And maybe it's because you brought it up the other day. I don't know anything about that situation at all. You know, I'm not no gatekeeper of everything going on in the YouTube or Sebastian thing or whatever. I don't know the situation, to be honest, to even comment on it. I just seen a vague thing on it. I just need a boots on the ground channel to watch where the creator doesn't always act like we're kids on a field trip and don't make them turn this live stream around. Shelby. We believe the kid lived there, but dogs couldn't pick up scent because a few hours different. I don't get it. Hey, Carl. Hey, Carl, that doesn't pick sides. Okay, so back to Katie on there. Like I said, it's her turn. We keep all picking on Christopher Proudfoot, and for good reason. Christopher Proudfoot, don't get me wrong, for absolutely good reason. Because not only, like, the guy cannot tell the truth. You know, he, like, how do you forget? How do you go on different channels and then say one thing and then on? It was almost comical watching him with his tail between his legs when she asked him about the polygraph. You saw that instant squirm for one, like that brief second. You saw him go, nope, didn't take the test. And it's almost like when somebody's like, shit, I got to be truthful here, you know, because he knows that he said whatever. But anyways, but not only that, but just
back to Katie, please.
Yeah, back to Katie. Yeah, back to Katie, please. So, again, for me, Katie in the hot seat. Yeah, Katie, you are the last one to see your son. Everything about this case does not make sense. Why doesn't it make sense? Because there's some truth that's not going on here. And I do have to wonder, like, honestly, like, for me, the arrows are pointing to Katie more than anything. Because she's the last one, right? If Chris is off in Memphis and Chris is whatever, then Katie Proudfoot, you're the one that seen your son last. Okay? The whole circumstance, like there's nothing here. Okay? What vehicle? What vehicle came and picked him up, Katie? What vehicle? You know, you don't think that all these neighbors that have cameras wouldn't have seen him. Okay, if Sebastian left that front window, you know, okay, I can understand that perhaps they didn't see any movement because it was really dark, and if he's wearing dark clothes, you know, and he went out, say, his window, okay, because again, Katie and that are the ones that keep insisting that he went out the front door locked, right? The one with the keypad. You know, that's their version. That's not Ali's version. That is their version of them telling it to us. Okay. So you have to still take it with a grain of salt because we know how many parents are involved in the disappearance of their own damn children. So you have to take it with a grain of salt because we don't know the truth. But you still have to be sensitive to the fact that there's nothing that's telling us that they had any involvement either. But there's nothing saying that there isn't some sort of involvement because nobody knows what the frick happened to Sebastian Rogers. But when you look at it and you think to yourself, this is a kid with autism. He has a certain structure. He takes medicine. He didn't take his phone. He didn't take his money he had hidden in his bedroom. He didn't take any snacks. He didn't take any shoes. He didn't take a knapsack. He didn't take shit. Okay. That kid did not run away. Okay. And just sneak out his window, freaking with socks on, or out the front door with socks on, and just disappear into La La Land, where at least a camera wouldn't have picked him up. You know, from all the different cameras that are in that neighborhood, he's not seen. The dog scents don't pick him up. They stop at the yard, right? So it's like you sit there and you go, okay, let's make sense of this. What could you make sense of? If we have been given no description of a vehicle in the area, and nosy neighbors, and when I say nosy neighbors, I'm being very loosely on saying that, because I'd be freaking nosy neighbor for sure. I'd be looking over my camera footage, asking my neighbor if I could see their camera footage. Heck, I'd be like wanting it all, right? To see what the heck was going on in my neighborhood. So you know darn well that there was a talk about Uber car, but that ended up being nothing. That was, I think, JLR said on a different street or something like that. Trev Time had said, said he had talked to this person, exclusive interview, talked to this person and whatever. But anyways, the Uber thing ended up being a wash or whatever. But bottom line is, okay, so you don't think for 1 second that between 12 and 6, these neighbors aren't looking at their freaking cameras going, vehicle? Is there any vehicle that stopped near the home? Anything at all? Because a vehicle, they would have at least have noticed, because it's in the street. It's not freaking in the darkness of a freaking bedroom that has no lights on it and it's just pitch dark, right? Like, I'd love to see that video. But the thing is that if that neighbor has at the garage angle, and like, we don't know who all has footage, but if they have the garage and then the front door, but if it's pitch black, and let's say Sebastian just happened to go to the right side there, at what point is he not going to be caught on somebody else's camera? Christopher said if he would have went out the back door, he would be seen on camera. Plus, we know of all the other cameras that are around that neighborhood as well. So at what point would he not be caught on something? Okay, so then no dog sense, right? No dog sense picking him up. Again, there's no vehicle coming to the media asking us to, showing us some video of some mysterious vehicle in the neighborhood. Right. But we know that Katie was the last one to see him. Right, Katie? And the timeline from Katie, remember, the timeline from Katie is 12 to 6. And Katie gets in her vehicle. At first it was 3 minutes, then it was 1 minute flat. She says that she, starts searching the neighborhood and the school. And the whole time she's talking to Christopher Proudfoot, she's so distraught and that Christopher says that he calls like the sheriff. He doesn't just call the regular 911 line or whatever, because he knows how long it would take for them to get out there. So something about he calls like the sheriff's number or something like that, because Katie's too distraught to talk. So they do this 3-way, and he's calling from his phone doing the 3-way, but I guess perhaps she's muted herself because she's too distraught trying to figure out what happened to her kid. He says that the police are on their way for Katie to go back home and whatever. So I'm sorry, but after a while, and when you start looking at it all, and then you see Katie, like, darn it all, it's been a month now. Gonna go up to Memphis with Chris, because Sebastian could just be anywhere. I'm gonna take off my decal off my car because this is all about Sebastian, right? And then you have Seth, who's out there, blood, sweat, and tears, looking for his kid. And then you put the two together, right? And then when I said, like, to Seth, I think he maybe understood that a little bit wrong when I said that yesterday. When I said people are on his side, it meant the fact of people see the passion and the love and the care that Seth and the drive that Seth has for finding his son Sebastian. Exactly what a parent should be doing. Like, I think you may take that as a tit for tat thing, but that's not what I was meaning. What I was meaning was that people are on Seth's side because at least Seth is coming across as sincere, honest, looking for my kid, exactly what a parent should be doing. Then you have, little Miss Muffet sitting on her tuffet there, eating her freaking curds away, right? Hey, you know what? I'm just gonna go up here to Memphis. Me and Chris there. Because Chris doesn't have work, has work, then he does have work, then he doesn't have work. But we're just up here and we're handing out flyers. We're gonna take the decals off the car because we don't really want people to know about that we're over here and stuff like that. And I'm sorry, but like I said, as a mother, I'm offended. I'm literally offended by watching how Christopher and Katie are handling this because I don't give a shit. This is my child. I am the voice for my child. And yet Christopher Proudfoot keeps speaking up for Katie like he's her fucking puppeteer, right? And then you have Seth over there, blood, sweat, and tears, searching for his child, doing the proper thing, being a voice for his child. And then you have Katie over there going, here, Chris, I'm going to talk and you're just going to word my, you're just going to mimic my mouth type of thing. And Katie's like, well, I got no problem for Christopher Proudfoot. Again, the public doesn't want to hear from Christopher Proudfoot, like not from when there are questions that Katie should be answering. Like, who wants to hear Christopher Proudfoot when Katie is the one that was with him that whole day? Christopher Proudfoot, you can say other things, but meaning we want to hear from Katie. We want to hear time for time, but we just want to hear from Katie, the mother. So how does she expect it to look to the public when somebody else keeps doing all the speaking for her? And we all already know that Chris is a control freak, and then he has this freaking mouthpiece of a sister, that pretty much probably the whole family's a bunch of mouthpieces, to be honest with you, sitting on their freaking high horses, not helping in the searches. Because remember Seth said yesterday, he's like, Katie's not the only one that took the decal, the flyer off the vehicle.
Yeah, the decal.
Yeah, the decal. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to comments. Okay, Adam. So that's my beef. And like I said, little Miss Muffet can get off her tuffet and act like she cares about her freaking son. Because I just find it I'm just pissed when I'm watching these actions of a mother. I'm a Seth. I'm like that female version of a Seth. Like, get out of my way, coming through. And like Seth said, right? He's sitting there. It's his only son. He's the one getting blood, sweat, and tears. Then he looks over to his left at Katie and Chris over there going, what you guys doing? Oh, nothing? Oh, here. Do you want me to give you a spot on the team so you can help search? Oh, no, wait. So sorry. I understand.
Never, no, nothing like that.
That wouldn't be too hard. As a mother, like I said, this is their child. This is Katie's child. It's nobody else's. And it really pissed me off during this interview with the whole hand thing that she's like,
well, remember, Sebastian could be anywhere. So they're probably diligently searching over there, at the campground. So,
yeah. And for anyone too that didn't watch yesterday's live with Seth, so tomorrow, Wednesday is his polygraph test that Nancy Grace set up for him. So just so you guys know that. And there was something else I was going to say. He was at the doctor's today. If anybody wants to go help search, they just go down to the Rudders over there. And the address is, well, again, you can just Google that. The Rudders, it's like 126. And I can't remember the freaking thing. But anyways, in my video that I did, it has all that information. Or you can just simply put in the Rudders. Anyways, from like 9:30 to 6, you guys can go help search. You can pick up flyers, put them away, or where you can print them off at home. Anyways, everyone can play a role if they want to,
right.
And if this case means a lot to you, just whatever you need to do, whatever that little bit of help is, whether it's sharing this video and liking it and putting it out in the algorithm, it all counts. It all helps.
And CJK, I agree with, I agree. Alicia, I'm going to come back to your question. But CJK said it's kind of odd the three of them haven't held a press conference asking for help, a unified front. We know why, but I would have done so with my ex. You know, and I agree. I mean, I look at like Riley Strain's family, and you know, I'm sure they've had their differences in the past. No divorced couple hasn't, but you know, they came together as a unified front to search for Riley, and they didn't break from that. I don't blame Seth or Katie for not doing that in this case, but yeah, it's always sad that, you know, that people can't come together for that purpose. Now Alicia said something about a mattress. Have you heard anything about that, Sunny?
No. What does it say?
Alicia has said about a mattress being taken during the search or disposed of. I've not heard anything about that.
I haven't heard that myself.
Okay.
No.
But trust me, Alicia, I'll Google it and I'll look it up tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, like sounds like a rumor, but I don't
Right.
know. I haven't heard of it. I still have Alicia, I've
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they well, I mean, they wouldn't have taken it if there wasn't like evidence to it, but yeah.
you know what? I don't think they're trash. I think that
Who?
Pardon?
Who's trash?
Robin, she's saying polygraph tests are trash.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right in front of my face.
Yeah.
Polygraphs are trash. I guess they can be. I mean, there's a reason they don't allow them in court, but they can be telling.
My point is this: if you got nothing to hide, yeah, no problem. Christopher, he's showing what a snake in the grass he is. His ego precedes himself. And it's like when someone thinks that they're the cat's ass, like I think Christopher Proudfoot did in a lot of ways in his general living. And then all of a sudden that comes to a halt. But it's like someone, to me, Christopher reminds me of someone that's in self-probation mode, that, you know, like being attacked, like, you know, and he's making up excuses. And the truth about Christopher Proudfoot is coming to the surface, and his actions, like I said, he's the one that put out that like right there, right? Yes, and the results are passed. So Christopher Proudfoot is that game player. She thinks that he's that freaking wolf in the sheep's clothing, and he's not, right? Like I
Yeah.
said, like some people think that they're smarter and wiser than others, and then all of a sudden they get grounded. Like when I say grounded, I mean talking about grounded back to earth, you know, because like I said, they think that they're smart and whatever. But when you're fucking with fucking millions of people, dude, you got no place to go but down, because you got all these sleuths that are on your ass checking out everything. And so when you sit there and post that, and then you turn around and say, well, I didn't say who or when. I just said, yes, the results are passed. And then, like I said, he answers another one saying, thank you for your concern. Yes, I have one scheduled. And that was just the other day when Green-Eyed PI had asked him about, you know, taking one. Anyone believe for 1 second? So bottom line is that sure, you know, like I said, an honest person, like I said, you don't have to worry about taking a polygraph test if you got nothing to hide. Sure. That's why Seth has taken one. Sure. Got nothing to hide. Hook me up.
So hey, Robin, have a good night. Robin says, I'm out. Have a good night. I know what happened to a 10-year-old girl. Her effing mother should have been in prison, but hey, her poly was good. Yeah, I mean, polygraphs are not always, you know, just like they're not always reliable. That's why they're not allowed in court. But they can be telling, though. I think it's fair to say that, Robin. But
Well,
have a good night.
Yeah, I'm not even going to touch that because that one sounds like some attitude in it, to be honest.
How about this one, Sonny? Could you read that?
How in the world did that short, stout, no-neck, Kompalumpa narcissist talk 5 women into marrying him? Them ladies have to have been drunk at the time. Okay,
Wait,
I'm not going to laugh.
But who are you talking about?
I don't know. It sounds like me. Like, how did that freaking Oompa Loompa chick from freaking Canada? No,
Whatever.
no, what I got to say to that is, you know what? You know what? You know what? Do it to me once, shame on me. Do it to me twice, shame on you. Well, this guy's got 5 under his belt, okay? And
I
you know
I
that
told
there.
Steffa earlier she could be number 6 if she's lucky.
Yeah, Steffa, come on now. The price, if the price is right, Steffa, come on now. You know, right?
If she could
Anyway,
just see the forest through the trees.
you know, the thing is that, you know, it's one of those things is that you can't sometimes help but laugh because you look at Christopher Proudfoot and you're like, how? Were they drunk? Did you drug them up? How did 5 women marry you? I guess he must, I don't know what about him. You know, like, is he a Rico Suave? You know, is he got that sauce, that special sauce? I don't know. Like, because from I think what
That
we've gathered, I don't.
that sexy back hair.
Yeah, oompa loompa. But yeah, I mean, he ain't bringing sexy back at no level to me. But you know, 5 other women thought he did. But I think that there would have been a 6 and a 7, to be honest with you.
If you listen to that one viewer of JLR's that said that she would see him at a bar when he was on a crane job.
Yeah.
And you know, he never mentioned being married, and the bartender thinks that he would have pursued her romantically. So you know, who knows?
Charmaine.
Speaking of Rico Suave,
All right, I know.
So
hold on.
I have to go in about 10 minutes, but
all right, I gotta go pee. That's what I need to go do. I'll tell you that. Yeah, I gotta go pee and I gotta get some water. But anyways, so what I was gonna say something about Chris, and it was good. Well, not in his favor, but it was good. I was just thinking, actually, you know what? I'm gonna go pee. Maybe I'll remember when I go pee and get some water. Okay. Fine, I'll wash my hands if you really want me to. Other than that, you can talk
don't take that extra time. Don't take that extra time.
Okay, give me a minute.
Okay, I thought she'd never leave. Alicia says, thanks, you two. Have an awesome night. Alicia, have a good night. Shelby says he's going to get the 6th one free. Oh. Forgotten DV Survivors says, couldn't have enough inches or money for me. He's just disgusting. Shelby, everyone, you guys are being savage. Shelby said, I bet his divorce attorney gave him a punch card. Crafty says he must have hidden talents. Well, Shelby says, I'm a hoot and I can't even get a text back. Aw. I would text you back, Shelby. Forgotten DV says, I could pass on Oompa Loompa too, so I better be nice. Yeah. Oh, CJ Cat, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but you said a tool to use. C. Taylor says, okay, Chris Proudfoot was asked if he got new furniture for his daughter's room, and Chris Proudfoot said someone gave him a mattress and it was in the garage, said in one of the interviews. Not sure if that's what someone is referring to. Oh, you know, you're right. He did say there was new bedroom furniture or a mattress in the garage. So I'm not sure if that's what someone was referring to earlier or not. But thank you, because I'd forgotten about that. Justice Jane said, Katie says she passed. I think that was a lie. Carl says, how is this being productive? How is what being productive, Carl? This live stream right now? It's probably not being productive. Thank you for your comment. Anne Broom said Katie Proudfoot storyline could be creating an alibi on phone for almost 3 hours. Okay, actually talking or just establishing a digital footprint. I've thought of this too. Same with driving around that AM to be seen on cameras on Boys School building. Yeah, I thought that was interesting too. Is that that she just happened to be on the phone with Chris for 3 hours the night before, and then when she discovered Sebastian missing the next morning, she of course called Chris before she called, instead of calling 911.
Aspen, does Carl need a menopause pill?
Is this some type of? Is this some type?
Carl,
Carl,
who pissed in your cornflakes this morning? Actually, Carl, we know
this
Carl.
this is a poll, Carl.
It is. What is he talking about being productive this whole live or?
Well, I said it's probably not. I said we're just kind of chatting and spitballing ideas right now and talking. So it's we're probably not being productive, but I appreciate your
input. Output. Well, bottom line
but
is,
Carl, if you have something to add to the conversation, please contribute.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, once this live is over, we'll unchain Carl from the dungeon that we got him strapped in, forcing him to watch this live right now. Okay. Talking about who's a better looking guy.
Oh, Carl, I assume it's you.
You can't take everything too seriously. Cases are serious, but you have to be, like I said, we can have chit chats and talk about it and just be whatever. I mean, like I said, we kind of live a YOLO type of life, we have the basis of what we're talking about. And if it goes astray and goes off course, well, that's just us, to be honest with you.
And like I said, I've got to go in a few minutes. So, I just wanted to, we were just kind of spitballing and talking, but
they have codes and he knew them. Correct. Colleen, right. I believe that was said, like there was two, he didn't know the code to the garage, but he knew the code to the other, I think 2 doors. So I'm going to think that maybe the other code was on the garage door, like this door that's to the side of the garage, perhaps, or maybe it was in the back. I don't know. And then the front door had a keypad on it. Carl, that's because you don't live the YOLO life. You got to loosen up, undo the tie, dude, unzip the pants, whatever. You got to loosen up. If you want to go to a set type of live, this is not that channel to do so. We just
I don't think Carl's trolling.
No, he's not trolling.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, Carl's been in here a bit, but he's kind of more of like a uptight type of personality. You can tell, like he's a more serious personality. But again, so it's either he wants to watch the live or he doesn't want to watch the live. Nobody's forcing.
Hey, I like Carl.
Yeah.
Hang out, Carl.
Is it Carl from Mr. Beast, Carl? Carl?
I don't know who that is. But I mean, keep trying.
Anyway, so where were we at with this? I don't know. Well, let's, you know what? You got to get going. Why don't you head off?
Well, I want to read this. I don't think Sebastian was deceased when taken from the house. I think he was unconscious. Otherwise, the cadaver dogs would hit. I think he passed outside of the home. I believe Katie Proudfoot did it.
Yeah. Let's first of all, for any members out there, okay, don't forget you guys have your green Sebastian hearts for Sebastian. So for anyone that is a member, feel free to always do the green hearts for Sebastian for that. What?
There's my girl.
Aspen is which I like. I enjoy this, seriously. I do. Good shows. Okay, that's it. Spin it back, girl. Spin it back.
And
You know we're
thank you,
just
Lisa. I
teasing with
love
you.
you too.
Yeah, I hope you know we're just teasing with you, buddy.
Yeah.
Please don't tell me that Carl's a female name, okay? And then I got my foot in my mouth, okay? Because I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure it's a guy's name. But anyways, what was I just gonna say? Oh, I was gonna do a poll. Hey, Carl, get ready for this. I'm gonna do a poll. All right. And the poll, hold on, let me just turn off my camera because it's nighttime here. My husband has the freaking pink light on over there going. He's like romantic like that. But anyways, give me a second. Gonna do a poll,
He's romantic over there with his brother.
right? Okay. Poll. Let me see.
Thank you, C. Taylor. C. Taylor said hashtag Sebastian Strong with the green hearts. And then Anne Vroom put green hearts.
Yeah, and the puzzle
So
pieces.
did Diana.
Yeah.
Shelby did as well. Thank you guys. It's a Crammy Shame did. Ben did.
Let's see.
And Jenny did. Thank you, Jenny. Good to see you. Thank you, Sharon Parker.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You guys ready for my poll? Okay.
That's what she said.
All right, there you go. There's my poll. Oh, hey. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you, mods. Thank you for, there hasn't been no donation, so can't thank for that.
Oh, and thank you, Crafty One. Thank you for the green hearts, Crafty One. Forgotten DV says, I'm new here tonight and I totally love all the personalities. Oh, thank you, Forgotten DV.
Well,
We
welcome
appreciate you.
Welcome home. Yep. Yeah. Well, I mean, here we're not an uptight channel by no means. We take the cases seriously.
Lisa?
When it comes to the victims, or the families of the victims in a sense,
Right.
of course. So at no means is Katie or Christopher Proudfoot or Seth, like I said, from this channel, have we said that there's been involvement on their part of it, but are we going to question things? Are we going to look at things? Are we going to, like I said, this is really, for the most part, a very fact-based channel. We like putting out the facts, But
Yeah. And we do like to joke with each other. No, I was
but it's like a family to us.
yeah, I was just reading different comments. Colleen said uptight and out of sight. I like that. And Lisa, Brandon, good to see you. And everyone, thank you for doing the green. Everyone, thank you for doing the Sebastian things in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Sunny, I don't have the chat open. What's your poll?
Yeah, my poll says, okay, do you think Sebastian made it home after dinner? Yes, no, I'm here for Carl and Sebastian, and undecided. I thought Carl could maybe get a smile out of that one. Just because he said something about a poll, and I'm like,
I would pick. I'm here for Carl, and I would pick
and Sebastian.
And Sebastian. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anne Broom says the whole thing makes my head spin. None of what we know adds up to anything that makes sense, and yet still we have a 15-year-old boy that disappeared into thin air.
Well,
it's torture.
Yeah,
right, and it's been 43 days.
Well, that's just it.
How long was?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
How long was Nicola Bully missing?
Oh, well, she went missing on January 29th, I believe. And then she was found on February 19th. So about 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So this is twice that amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in a very small area, in a body of water. And here we've got, like, same with Kylie Rodney, missing for a very short amount of time. Sebastian's been missing for 43 days.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane to me to think about that. It's been, I mean, it's going to be 2 months before we know it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've forgotten that's exactly how we do our lives here. I'm all for facts, absolutely, right? I'm not into conspiracies. You just want to put out the facts, and then put, like I said, like in Sebastian's video that I made of the events and timeline, put in things that are known to us without getting into the whole, really like the ridiculous rumors, or like things that are more off balance. I'm not into that stuff. Like, meaning, if, like, for instance, you said something about a mattress, no idea about a mattress. If there's something been said about that, it will go into the side unless that comes out of Seth's mouth or Katie Proudfoot's mouth. Somebody in the now of the knowing. And Katie Proudfoot, Christopher Proudfoot, Seth Rogers are all three people that they are directly involved in this case. So regardless of what truth is coming out of anyone's mouth, is that that's still coming out of people that are involved in this case. So it doesn't mean it's factual, like Katie telling us and Christopher telling us, like especially Katie, that the front door was locked and Sebastian went out the front door. That's their version. It's the only timeline we have to go by is what Katie's saying. If Katie was the only one there, we have to take what she's saying and try to think around it. For all we know, it could be a bunch of made up shit that she's actually selling us, right? But we don't know. So
Right.
you try to just to balance out her emotions versus the words and see if they kind of line up to each other.
Right.
But at the end of the day, this whole thing boils around is that we can't understand why. Hi, everyone. We can't understand why that this child just seems to have disappeared like Houdini, took in some magic carpet ride somewhere. A UFO freaking came down or something and got him, because no one can make hide nor hair of if this child did go somewhere or where he is. Because there's nothing that makes sense to a child running away. Okay. Hi, Shane.
Right.
Hi, everyone. I'm wondering why
Um,
Lee has not detained Chris and Katie or separated them, interrogated them like normal police procedures when you notice the lies. Well, because according to them at this point, like they're not suspects. Like nobody's cleared, but they're saying that that they have cooperated fully with everything in a sense, and that there's no foul play at this moment in time. So, like, we have to believe that the LE is doing their job. Even if you don't think they're doing their job, they're doing their job.
hopefully.
Right. And
Yeah.
this is what we were talking about with the Brian Koberger case. They're putting out for a white Elantra. They're putting out these things. At first, you're like, hey, is somebody going to be arrested? And next thing you know, boom, into his house they go. While Mr. frickin' Koberger is putting trash into a little
Putting his
frickin' bag.
latex gloves on and moving and putting
Yeah.
his Ziploc bags into
You know,
other
and
garbage
then
cans.
boom. So
So Lonnie Yolo, I like the name, says, what's most perplexing is no known camera footage after leaving the restaurant.
sorry.
You took it off.
I'm so sorry. Sorry.
That's okay.
Which one was it? Yeah, that one.
After a very dark video of someone taking out the trash at Katie's house, no known footage after. And I agree. And Chris talked about that, and that goes into play with the other comment Sonny has put up that said, has anyone seen other video
You can answer that about Seth yesterday.
him actually taking out the trash? We talked to Chris about that, and he said the video was too dark for him to tell who it was. But no, that video has not been seen publicly that I know of.
Hey, it's another fellow Canadian.
Am I right, Sonny? That video has not been seen publicly, right?
No, it hasn't been seen publicly. Seth said he saw it, said he couldn't make out anything. He could see a formation.
Right.
But he couldn't make out that it was Sebastian.
Yeah.
Not to say it wasn't Sebastian, but he couldn't make out that it was Sebastian. Can FBI take over the case completely, or does it have to be TBI? Sorry, it's only when they want them to come in, to be honest with you.
Yeah, either that or there's a strong possibility that it's cross state lines.
Right.
Sorry. Ann Vroom says, saw CJ at colleagues searching Searching a pond by a church very close to the boys' home,
Yeah.
not the construction area ponds. Why didn't Tennessee LE have divers in that pond 4 weeks ago? Good question, Ann. I'm not sure of the answer to it.
I don't know if they did or not.
Yeah.
But there's no harm in, like, okay, think of Kylie Rodney, right? Think of Kylie Rodney in Proctor Lake.
Right.
That was
She was
searched
15 feet, yeah.
multiple times. And then Adventures with Purpose goes in, you know, finds the vehicle, like what? I think it was like 14 or 15 feet offshore.
Yeah,
Within
in like
10
18 minutes.
Yeah, it was like 10 minutes, 13 minutes, I think,
Yeah, 13 minutes, okay.
of getting there.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. So I'm gonna go to bed. I don't know how long you're gonna stay on, Sunny.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang out just a little bit longer. with
I
you guys.
haven't. I would hang out, everyone, but I didn't eat dinner yet, and I want to eat.
No problem, bud.
So
Get
I'm gonna
out.
scarf something down and then go to bed.
That reminds me, I should have taken pizza to work. But it's 2 days old now. Now it will be hard as crust. Anyways, have a good night, buddy.
All right. So
Love you.
everyone have a good night. Tomorrow is day 44 that Sebastian's been missing. So everyone, before you go to bed at night, just say a prayer for
Sebastian, for Seth, to be honest
for
with you,
Katie, for everyone.
yeah, I was gonna say for everybody,
Yeah.
because we don't know if there's any involvement of any kind of parents or anything like that.
Right.
So there's no set. Like, again, we can question certain things because we know that Katie has said that she was there with Sebastian. Like, we know she was there. So then we're looking at the information that she has said or they have said, but we don't have no clue if there's any involvement on their part.
Yeah.
My biggest beef with them is the how they're acting for the public opinion, and why, like, just doing things like a parent shouldn't do, like take down a decal off the car of your kid that's missing. You just don't do that. That's just wrong. Like, is it about you or is it about Sebastian? Are you that much of a wuss that you feel like you know what I mean? So this is about your kid, like a woman should be like a freaking, lioness, like a freaking tiger when you do anything with your child, not, hampering away, kind of, we're getting threats. Well, lots of wacko jackals. I get it. I'm not trying to be insensitive, but come on, this is your child we're talking about. You don't back down. You get stronger, get tougher, get wiser, whatever. Anyways, have a good night.
Well, good night, everyone. Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams. Okay. I think Chris' parents may be possibly involved. See, I don't know why that they would be involved myself. I know that there was the whole Seattle to fly to Alaska. Makes no sense. Would that might be seem like insensitive or not appropriate? Like, oh, Sebastian's missing. Like, it's like they didn't give two fucks, right? Like, honestly. And just like when Christopher Proudfoot says, like, that would just be amazing if he walked in the door right now. Right? Come on, dude. That's not what you sound like, and you know it. You're not sitting there freaking got a party happening when he comes in the door. Right? I don't, like, he does not come across like that whatsoever. Like, he basically, doesn't want Sebastian around his daughter like he's some sort of, even though Sebastian, which we know from the aired laundry in a sense, is that he's a victim. But come on. Hey, I guess I could probably put it like this now. Okay. But anyways, do I think his parents have any involvement? No. Lack of taste. Like I said, like, how much did they care about Sebastian? Woohoo! We got plans. We're going on a trip. That's how I see that. I don't see no involvement in their part. I don't see this, thing that they put him in some sort of freaking, keg and something like that, and, hauled him off to Alaska. Well, I just don't see that myself. Is it, like I said, etiquette wise or whatever, morally wise? Do I find it ignorant? Sure. Like, how come if you care about this kid, because Christopher, but I guess when you got 5 wives and different kids and stuff like that, and yeah, they're just like, another day in the park with Chris. But I just think it's something to be desired. Lack of taste to me to sit there and go on this vacation during the midst of a child that's missing. Or you could go to Alaska, or you could come join the search. How about them apples? There's a thought. Anyways, each to their own, right? Like people do things and we don't always agree with what they do. But people, like I said, we all have our different levels of morals and things that we do and don't do. And it's just that usually things like that, is just looked at with a side eye because it's, you just think that, hey, you would be helping out in the search, not be going like, cheers, we're out of here, off to Alaska. I can search the same spot for my key. Oh, Lanny, I get ya. If any of you guys been stupid enough to sit there and look for your phone when it's in your hand, or your keys or something like that, I've done it. You're sitting there looking everywhere for it, and it's like, oh shit, seriously, it's in my hand. Night Aspen, thank you for your time, Aspen. Good night, Aspen. Who's Aspen? I'm not even sure who that is, to be honest with you. Let's see, what are you guys all saying? Disagree with your facts in JLR. At least check the minimum. Wikipedia, Jonathan Lee. Richards includes their references. Number 15, archive for pick. I don't know what you're talking about there. Disagree with your facts on JLR. At least check the minimum. Wikipedia, including the references. Number 15. I don't know. Like I said, what do you mean? What part did I have wrong? I mean, I didn't even list all the other stuff. So I don't even know what you're talking about, to be honest with you. I don't know if you say check your facts because I don't know. Maybe explain yourself a little bit better so I understand. Probably went out to be shown on camera. And hi, Real McCoy. Hi, the Real McCoy. I'm all for researching, agreeing, can't hurt, but I don't think TNLE did search that pond. Just the two in construction area, which they drained. There are dozens of ponds within walking distance of the boy home. Yeah, can't tell you, Anne, what they search, but regardless, it's nice that there's people out there that are willing to help, and especially if they're a scuba diver and can, offer some underwater searching like that and stuff like that. So good on them, people. Well, I accept you no matter sports bra or underwear, bro. Underwear. Defo underwire here. Mama Bear. Mod would kick in. Yeah, Mama Bear mode would kick in. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with myself too. Just saying, Sharon Parker. Love you. Thank you guys again. Don't forget to hit the like and the share, guys, okay? I'm not trying to sit here and be greedy for the channel. Just want you guys to put awareness to Sebastian's case, or to any case, really. It's very important, especially the missing cases, to cover, to make sure that the awareness gets out there. Some cases virtually get none, versus other ones. This one started off slow and it's grown into pretty much a lot of people know it, but there's a lot of people that still don't know about it. So just, like I said, hit the like, hit the share. You never know who has seen it, who hasn't. And hopefully some answers will come out of it, or hopefully somebody might know something and feel guilty and they keep seeing Sebastian's face everywhere. Maybe they're going to be willing to talk. They flew from Seattle to Alaska because it is a long ass drive. You got to go up through Canada and everything. Yeah, it is a long ass drive. They didn't care at all, but really, who drives all the way across the country to SeaTac to fly to Alaska? Well, apparently they do. Is that something that they have done before? I don't know. Then soulmates. Sunny, agree totally. Your assessment of KPCB behavior. So what's your thoughts at this point? Abduction or wandered off? Or just haven't found it? Okay. I leave that option available, okay? Because it still is a possibility. Damneder things have happened, right? Where the perfect storm happens and that he did just decide to leave and wander off and hurt himself. Like everything would just... One second. Thank you, Shane Noland. Okay, I heard it going off at the bottom there, so I had to scroll down to see what happened. Thank you very much for the super sticker, Shane. Appreciate that. Ben says, thank you, Shane. I'm going to be single forever. I've come to the realization a few years ago. You know what? Those are positive thoughts right there. You live in Seattle. Going back to for a second. Oh, hi, Lacey. Did you come in after Aspen left? I saw he was on, but I had stuff going on. I wasn't. Oh, okay. You saw when she says he, she only comes really mostly for Aspen, Connor. Just saying. Yeah. One day I'll put on that blonde wig. Pretend. Who's that guy that just left, and why did I think his name is? I don't know. I'm not exactly. He's a troll. He's definitely a troll. Oh, which reminds me, I want to thank, of course, James Baker. Sorry, James Baker from yesterday. We don't usually let guests come just on a live because too many trolls out there, right? You don't know what somebody's gonna say, or they're gonna be a wacko jacko. But anyways, decided to let him on. He came up and. He was having some issues at first with, having his TV, I think, going. Because again, when you're on StreamYard, you can't be playing your YouTube. So anyways, but it was a pleasure talking with James. So James, if you see this live, it was a pleasure having you on yesterday. Thank you for being a normal thinking person. And not be some crazy loon out there, because there's a ton of them. But anyway, so just want to say appreciation to that, and appreciation to Seth Rogers again for joining us on Unexpected Live. I wish that his connection was better, because there was so many more questions that I would have liked to have asked him. But, it was just a last minute thing, and he was having connection issues. But, it's what it is. Grateful for the time that we did have. Going back to Anne on that, like I said, I keep thinking about this case, like most of you guys, right? And you're just trying to make sense of this. You have these dogs that aren't finding a scent off of the property. You're having this weird ass stuff being told to you, that he didn't take his phone, that he left his home without shoes on, perhaps socks, perhaps slippers, but Katie still confirmed that, in that pile of saying shoes, you would know that she would think slippers now, as well, or thongs or whatever. Now, I know when Seth was speaking, he had talked about, that Sebastian had slippers. When he was saying that, obviously Sebastian does wear slippers, because at Seth's home, Sebastian has slippers. So, that one I'm always kind of going, okay, so did he really not have anything on his feet or whatever? If he did leave, right? But you think about the whole totality, I guess, of it in a sense, and you go, okay, so no phone. He didn't take any of his save up money he had in his closet, didn't take a jacket, didn't take supposedly no shoes, didn't take anything, snacks, considering he loves his snacks, right? Katie talked about that, and didn't take snacks. And Chris actually talked about that as well. Didn't take it like a knapsack. So how does that happen, that a child just goes, peace, I'm out of here. I ain't taking shit. The only thing I'm taking is a little freaking flashlight. And we don't even know if that's true. Why did she only really bring it up like one time? Why was it not really mentioned again after that? Right? Is she holding back from us? Did she actually find it? Or did she still not find it to this day? That's why I was glad when I think it was Nancy Grace, when she kind of was like, how do you know that he didn't have shoes? Do you still believe that he didn't have shoes, or did, and then she's had said no. Right. So I'm kind of glad that was brought up again, because I wondered about that. I was like, okay, so, is she still gonna, we heard it the one time, doesn't mean things don't change. So the flashlight, right? This little keychain flashlight, right? Okay, that's just something that Sebastian could put in his pocket and whatever, right? It's just one of those little keychains that I have attached to my keys. So we do know that, at Seth's house, that he had keys, and stuff like that. So obviously he was, adult enough to be able to have the, the keys to the door and stuff like that. Apparently, like I said, the front door and whatever other door has a keypad lock on it. Which he said something like to lock from the outside was what Christopher Proudfoot said. So I guess when you go, okay, so right, when you go out the door, you set the code. Why the frick would you set a code if you're already outside and you're taking off? Why would you lock it? It doesn't make sense to me. You go outside, frickin' lock a door once you're already outside so that nobody can get in. That doesn't make sense. It's story. It's their story, right? It's Chris and Katie's. I'd really like to know, so anyways, when you look at everything, you don't see them on camera, right? You don't see any vehicles that we know of, right? If there was a vehicle that was suspicious in the neighborhood, trust me, the LE would release that shit. LE only releases shit they want us to know. That's it. That's all that they do. They will only put information out there that they want to get put out there because they know that social media can just like that get information out, right? It's simply like they simply use media to their benefit, right? That's the whole purpose. They give a little bit and here we go, we're going to use you because we need you to spread this information. But they're not going to give us anything at all other than that. That's the only thing that they're going to give us is just that stuff, right? And then, like I said, as they talk sometimes, and it depends which, obviously we know that Grady, everyone loves Grady. He's one of those ones that it's like, let me just cut through this shit. Here you guys go. See these people all up here, Grady will say, shit number 1, shit number 2, shit number 3, shit number 20. Exactly. These people were all part of a drug ring bust or a pedo ring bust and stuff like that. Puts it right out there, puts their faces out there, calls a spade a spade. But at the end of the day, most of them don't work like a Grady. Too bad, sadly, on there. I'm just coming down here to some of your thoughts. Let me see where we're at. Jenny, I feel bad now. At least I have your number. What is it? Jenny, don't you lose my number. Thank you for joining us, Shelby. Night. Good night, Shelby. You have a good one. It's 9:32 here in Vancouver. Vancouver, Canada, not Vancouver. You guys have a Vancouver in the US. I just find it hard to understand how an abduction vehicle could get out of that neighborhood without that's just it. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying, Anne, is when you look at it, dogs aren't finding a scent. Sebastian is not on anybody's camera. There's no, hey, trust me, like I was saying before, if there was the neighbors that have the cameras, I'll tell you right now, all those neighbors are becoming very close friends. If they didn't know each other that closely before this happened, they all are freaking talking and huddling and hurtling and talking about their video footage that they do have. Okay? They ain't keeping their lips sealed. Those people are talking. That's what people do. And so, again, if these neighbors had any sort of inkling on their cameras about some sort of vehicle in the neighborhood that was sus between that time, trust me, that's going to be out to us here in the true crime community. Why? Because that's just how people work, right? You can't make a lot of people say nothing. That's like when there's someone that committed a crime and there's multiple people involved in that crime, someone's going to give up because the first one that gives up information is always the one that gets the reward, right? And when I say reward, I'm just talking about they do the less time, etc., etc. So that if there was any sort of information about a vehicle that was in the area from all of these neighbors that have gathered around, that are huddling, talking about it all, just like JLR was talking about the people, coming up to him on the live stream saying how everyone in the neighborhood does not believe their story. So that's just it. So the facts in a sense, from what we know, is that Katie supposedly, right, arrived home with Sebastian. He took out the garbage, So if he arrived home, so if they left the restaurant, which was about 6:30, takes 12 to 15 minutes to get home, right? So let's say 10 minutes with a little bit heavier foot, whatever, 6:40. So say by 7 o'clock, 6:45, 7 o'clock. That's why I would like to know that timestamp, but Seth didn't see his timestamp for that garage video. Maybe they didn't have it on there. Anyways, so that would fall in line with, Sebastian taking out the garbage when they got home, right? He goes in his room, plays for a bit. His mom says that, he's all happy and playing in his room. Then he comes out at 9 o'clock and or she says basically it's time to get to bed. And comes out, says, okay, love you, mom, love you, puppies, and then, she hears some thought at 10 o'clock. But like I said, everything was kosher. She said that she had been thinking about incidences from weeks previously to see if there was any sort of inkling about what would lead Sebastian, because they literally never thought of him being abducted. Instantly, they have always just maintained that Sebastian left. Did Sebastian just leave, Katie? Did he? Because there's nothing showing that he left. And that's why people can't help but try to put blame on Katie and Christopher, because Christopher, like I said, most people are going to blame the stepdad anyway. But, I asked Seth, do you know for a fact that Christopher was in Memphis? He said, no, I don't. That's what he's been told, but that he doesn't know it for a fact. So I thought perhaps TBI would have at least, meaning if they're going to show him the video about the Texas Roadhouse video, I figured, well, maybe in the trash can video, I figured, well, then maybe that they would at least confirm with him, look, yes, Christopher Proudfoot was in Memphis, but they didn't, obviously, he said. But anyways, so he doesn't know for a fact. I'd like to think that he was, because, there's too many things that would, if he wasn't, that would mean that he'd have to put it upon his GPS, his phone, and people that work at St. Jude's to basically all say that he wasn't there. And you'd have to be the biggest ass liar for them to, for someone to say that. And if you're saying that on every YouTube channel, that's just evidence piling against you if you're lying. So I find it hard to believe that somebody would lie about not being in Memphis if they weren't, based on the fact that it's easy to disprove that, right? And because the LE has kept on saying that they have been more than helpful in search efforts for Sebastian, and that there's no signs of any foul play yet, then, I don't know, so my gut, that's why it's common sense would say you'd have to be the biggest fool in the world to sit there and lie that you weren't in Memphis when you got so much, there's so many things that could put him there if he was truly there. And you would have to literally get everyone to lie for you. And that's just not going to happen. GPS isn't going to lie. Your phone's not going to lie. The people at work aren't going to lie. If you were there, you were there. And then they are backed up. The only evidence, the only evidence around the house were those lights. Is Katie saying you took a flashlight to cover up for the lights around the house? Were those lights? Oh, well, call them what you will, because we had this discussion yesterday. I guess you could just call them lights. Whether you believe that they were a garbage truck or not, calling them lights would be fair. Nothing makes sense at all. Right. And that's just it. When nothing makes sense because something is wrong, something's amiss with the picture. Okay. How does somebody freaking disappear, not be seen, no vehicle that helped aid in a bed that seems to be found, right? Or else the neighbors would be blah, 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 right? Or that he wasn't seen on somebody's camera. Come on now. There's enough cameras around there that he should have been spotted. So it's like, did he do this great trapeze through people's house going, oh, I know a camera's over there. I can't be seen there. Oh, let me just go off in the woods. Oh, bonk my head on a freaking rock. Oh, I'm dead. Nobody found me yet. That doesn't seem likely at all. 43 days in, the perfect storm could have happened. So that option of, could he be out there? Something bad happened to him, out there in the vicious woods, and some, mauled by a bear or something like that, tripped and fell, and nobody found him. Highly unlikely, but it's still possible. Like I said, some really weird, strange things have happened before, So, like, look at Nicola Bully, right? Like I said, the LE didn't find her in that small little freaking rivulet thing, and they couldn't find her. Come on now, like, seriously, I still can't believe that. How does a female body go missing in a small little freaking ass river, and drones can't find her, scuba divers, boat, sonar, in a freaking small ass little river? How did they not find her? Still unbelievable to me. When I think of her case, I think anything's possible. Okay? When you have a woman for 3 weeks that is found by a psychic medium because 2 freaking Pisces fish, were some sort of sign. So he decided to go there, and then he sees Nicola's Bully floating body in the water, right? 3 weeks after, not because Ali or the dogs or cadaver dogs or the drones or anything to do with the sonar search, in a freaking ass little river. And they missed her. And they were patting themselves on the back like they were the best freaking ass Keystone cops out there. Give me a fucking break. They tried blaming YouTubers when they didn't even like quarter off their freaking area, and then they start giving YouTubers attitude. This is in England, by the way. But how do they miss a female in that small little ass river? The thing that they call a river. That ain't no river. That's a freaking little pond little thing, like almost like a ditch, really. And it's not even that deep. How do you miss someone? Like, it's crazy. So when I think of that case, I think anything's possible. And is it possible Sebastian left without shoes, without anything, decided he was going to go skipping along out into the woods and hurt himself? Possible? Yeah. Unlikely? Probably. So then you look, is there any vehicles in the area? Nothing. Why wouldn't they have come? They would have, if Sebastian was on any sort of camera, that information would be given to us by the LE. Absolutely. If there was any vehicle that they were searching for that was in the thing and they couldn't place it, they would be asking everyone to be, they would put that out to social media. But there isn't. The neighbors, if they saw a vehicle on their camera footage, trust me, they would be sharing that with freaking YouTube channels like crazy. That's what they do. So what do you have? Dogs that can't find a scent? No sign of Sebastian leaving home, right? Hey, Katie Proudfoot, you're the one that left home. We know you left home in the morning. So, like, that's not like, do you know what I mean? It's not like I'm making that up. She said she got, well, I mean, it's not like she said that. Really, she said at one point she went outside, and then really, like I said, it was pulling teeth. I almost forgot about that part when I was talking about the timeline, because the next morning, like, we only heard that later on about her getting in her vehicle and leaving. Why is she so hard to get information out of? Like, why isn't she saying things? She's coming off like this meager little, meek, passive personality, and she ain't. She's letting Chris speak for her. And yet it's her child. Why, Katie? That's what I want to know. Like, why? So it's not like I'm sitting there going, oh, well, Katie, you did something to your child. No. But what the fuck is all I can say. Sorry, guys. I better get down to probably some comments here. Why not just give Sebastian all you people that are spelling Sebastian wrong? S-E-B. A-S-T-8. Sebastian. Actually, you got the A in the wrong spot too. Anyways, why not just give Sebastian to his dad? right? You know, so this is like I said, make sense of it. How does somebody make sense of it when there's nothing you can make sense about it, because there's nothing? And the only thing you can keep going back to is Katie, to be honest, is Katie. Because she's the last one that saw him. Nothing has placed Sebastian outside of that home. Right? How does a child be Houdini like that? So what are the odds that he passed through cameras in the backyards of people's homes, made it to the woods, hurt himself, and all these searchers just overlooked him? Even like, meaning like the areas have been being searched in the last few days again, right? And by true crime sleuths that are doing their searches in Seth's group and stuff like that. No, he hasn't taken a lie detector test. He's so full of shit. Katie works for Brinks, right? There's no right, and there's no cameras. Well, yeah, like I don't understand that. I'm kind of still lost on that whole camera bit, because then someone said, well, he said he had cameras, but they weren't turned on or something like that. Who knows? They had no alarms, no motion detectors. When you live in an uppity upscale places like that, you would think Christopher Proudfoot, being the person that he is, he'd probably be home just sitting there enjoying staring at other people's lives, because he just seems like a busybody. He just has that personality. Wait, what, Christopher? You don't got cameras? Come on now. I'm so confused by this whole case. I pray that baby... Right, same. But that's just it. And all we can do is talk in circles, to be honest with you. And just because I don't know how to lay it out any clearer, that, it's not normal that somebody leaves home and takes shit all. Oh, let me just take my flashlight. Like, even if he had shoes on, make sense of that. Make sense that 43 days has gone by. Make sense of the fact that there's no vehicle in the area that anyone knows about, that, or at least we don't, okay? Neighbors would be talking about it. They would be sharing it, because that's what they do. Why? Because they want to be helpful. They want to bring justice. They want to bring answers from Sebastian, right? People just work that way. Don't, here, I'm just going to send you this video. Don't share it with anybody else. Okay, you know what? My friend just gave me this video, but don't share it with anybody else. That's how it works. We know it, right? Happens all the time. People can't shut up if they tried, to be honest with you. Very few, anyway. Interesting. KP is so determined to create a timeline that the boy was in the house and answering her at 10 p.m. Well, like I said, right? Just go back to some of the things that Katie, she turns to Christopher in Chronicles of Olivia's interview when she says, and we went to go pick, and that's what threw me off, because, I'm going, okay, so we went, you mean you and Sebastian? Or do you mean you and Chris? Because you just literally looked over at Chris and you went, so then we went and picked up, his cousin. And then, and then he's just sitting there like nodding as if he's fucking was there. And then he makes that comment about the window about, well, we would have heard him. So you're just trying to connect all these dots. Is he misspeaking like Jennifer Soto? Is she misspeaking? Or is there more to it? And we're just being fed a bunch of lies. Because just remember this and remember it well. The thing about the timeline is that it's all from Christopher and Katie. It is very little from Seth. Seth was not there. Seth can only tell you about how it was when Sebastian was at his home. Seth can only tell you certain things, right? But Seth wasn't there. Katie was there. Katie is the one that has in a sense, the answers to that day and stuff like that, and what was truly going on. So if they want to try to make us believe that the only option, according to Ali, as we kind of ruled everything out, and she's like, well, we're not saying it's 100%, but, after with talking with the Ali, well, it just had to be the front door, the locked front door. Notice that they just keep telling you how locked. So if there's something very consistent that they were saying, at least from Katie, is the locked front door. And at bedtime, I love you, Mama. Love you, puppies. How come she can only remember to say those things all the time? She can't remember to bring up a flashlight again. She can't remember to tell you about some thud at 10 o'clock at night. She can't remember to say anything. She didn't remember to tell Nancy Grace that she said she came home after again. Like, how many times can you tell a story? And for the Proudfoots when they're talking and never be consistent in how they're saying their story. Right? Like, I can understand, like, something getting added in or something like that. But we're talking every interview is, here's a little bit more, here's a little bit less, here's a bit more that you didn't have. And they've done that each and every time. Right? Now, Christopher Proudfoot, if he wasn't home, he's just going by what Katie says. Right? Was perhaps Sebastian a pain, a thorn in Katie's ass? Who knows? People have done really weird things to their freaking kids. But, you try to look at her and she looks like she's being sincere in her hurt and pain for Sebastian, like Aspen or JLR said, I should say, like you see a picture of, Katie and Sebastian, but where's any picture of Christopher and Sebastian? But hey, it would just be so amazing if he walked in that door. Fuck off. Shut the front door on that stuff. It's also very odd that KP says she doesn't take pics of Sebastian because he looks goofy in pics, yet she made sure to take the pics while they were out on his last fun day. Or remember that picture where she's like, Sebastian just hates being dirty, but look at, he has chocolate milk on the side of his face in this picture on there. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, you could tell in some ways when they were talking about Sebastian, especially in that interview I was just playing, the hands one. It's like, how does one make shit shine in a sense? Meaning, like, it's like they were trying to be very careful with their words. Like, I mean, yeah, I mean, he's very quirky in his ways. And, we do things like, we play with Legos and, we kind of build stuff and, but he's a really good kid. He's just a great kid. But, I mean, yeah, he does kind of, yeah, like, it's kind of like when people are searching for those words to make, make their kids sound good, but really they're like, probably like, oh, he's a little shit. He's always like freaking, a lot of energy, who knows? Anyways, it just came across, especially in that interview with the hands, that let me just search for some words here. I mean, there's some good old pauses there when Katie's talking that are actually awkward. I'm just like, yeah. How wonderful is your son again? Yeah. Come on, spit it out. Let's go. No scent dogs. We need to figure. Well, that's just it. That's what's racking our brains, is we just can't figure it out. What married couple talks on the? Okay, well, hold on. Forgotten. This chick can. I can talk to my husband. I love talking with my husband. Do I do it for 3 hours? No. Could I do it when he's away? Yeah, absolutely. I could see 2.5 hours. It was 2 hours and 15 minutes, to be honest, right around that area. If it might have been even more like 2 hours, because I think that it was more like 11:45. The neighbor across the street says that, according to Sweetie Pie Low, the person that she talked to, 9:08 is when Sebastian's light went out, and 11:45 is when like the light went out in the living room. So, that's from the neighbor, because they could see that, right? That would make their camera. So I mean, that one doesn't shock me. It's the fact that she never brought it up. That's what bugs me. Like at no point. And then on Chris, he said it on the Duchess, but during the other interviews, right? He wasn't saying shit all. It's like, oh, you're being a good boy, Chris. You're on WSMW. You're being a little good boy sitting there with your pouty lip, acting like you care a lot about Sebastian. And you know what? I'm sure, I don't know. I don't want to speak for some things for him caring about Sebastian, but nothing that Seth is saying or nothing at Christopher Proudfoot is coming across. I'm not buying this whole. It would just be so amazing if you would come in that door. Shut up. That is not your personality, Chris. You are not that cheerleader guy. KP is wishy-washy. She is wishy-washy. Well, there's something about Katie that struck me. I don't know what it was though. I could not finger point it. But I don't know if it was because there was just something when she's sitting there rocking and I'm looking at her eyes and I'm feeling genuine sadness and grief going on. But there was just something that was always missing for me with her. Like, I don't know, but I just couldn't put my finger on it. But I think as time has gone on, that it's kind of been kind of clear that she ain't this little meat cat, like, just, soft and whatever. No. She, like I said, there was something always missing. It's like when you're looking at somebody and you're looking at their personality, and I'm like, yeah, you don't strike me as this person that just sits there with this softer voice and, I just want my son back. And not saying she doesn't want her son back. I'm just meaning that I just didn't believe that was her full personality in a sense. If something accidental or whatever happened in the house, right? Could have been. Hey, Katie, what was that thud? Come on, Katie. Would have been like, and I still can't believe, it's just me personally, but I still can't believe that she didn't get up and check. Like, come on now. You hear this big thud, you hear this thud, and you don't get off the couch, and check. Right? Because let's see here. Why, Katie? Because you would have been on the phone with Christopher at that time. I don't hear Christopher confirming that really, because she would have been on the phone with Christopher. She was in the living room, as she said, close to the side of Sebastian's room, right? So if you were there in the living room, like I said, you're totally on the phone, talking with Christopher says he was talking to Katie at 9:43 or 9:46. Sorry, I get a yawn. Getting tired, I suppose, eh? Anyways, so yeah, so he would have been on the phone when Katie heard that thud. What? So why does that seem odd? Like why? Like it's not like she's mentioned that she was on the phone when she heard the thud that Christopher was on the phone. I think people kind of are overlooking that a little bit. That 9:45 or 9:43, 9:46. Oh God, sorry guys. It's kicking in now. But yeah, so she would have been on that phone, saying, Sebastian, did you just fall out of your bed? Like, I don't hear Chris sitting there backing her up on that. And hey, Chris, you were on the phone talking with her. Is that accurate, Chris? Oh wait, you lie. So, I gotta scroll down. Sorry, you guys. I'm probably way behind on comments. Yeah, like a shit ton. Have a good night. We could definitely, for a nominal fee, forgotten. So Miranda Lee comes for a price. Yeah, I'm willing to sell her, though. Thousands of accidents happened every day. Why do some parents try to... Well, that's just it. Did something happen? What was that thud, Katie? Tell us. Georgia raised. Georgia. I can't help but think of Michael Bolton now when I see that. We had such a great day that day. Oh, yeah, right. And yeah. We had such a great day. Yeah, we had such a great day after that. Oh, don't forget, you said he was playing in his room though, right? But in another one, she makes it almost sound like that he was out in the living room, almost type of thing, like with her. Yeah, we were just enjoying ourselves, having a great day. Oh, but you said he was in his room playing. So I don't know. All I know is that the buck stops at Katie. Like when it comes to anything that we know, the buck stops at Katie. There's nothing else to show that Sebastian has left that house. So, you know, like I said, so where does the buck stop? It stops at Katie. Why? Because she's the last one to see him. You know, and everything about the whole situation is sus. When you look at the whole, you know, now it's not to say that Sebastian couldn't have. It's just when you look at the whole thing of dogs not picking up scents, no vehicles, you know, no sight of Sebastian, no freaking clothes, like no freaking shoes, no freaking phone. Come on now. Like that, it's just weird. You don't like that's just not normal. It's just weird. So it goes back to Katie. So Katie, like, you know, I would love to know if some mulch was disturbed, right? But according to Katie, went out the front door, you know, and it was locked, you know. But I would love to know if some mulch was disturbed in his window, you know. You know, Sebastian, did you fall out of your bed? No, ma'am. Well, whatever you're doing in there, you know, you better get your butt to bed. Oh, I don't know. Was the thud opening up the window? I don't know. I'd just love to know if the mulch was disturbed. But the police will know that, you know. And again, I mean, they could be sitting here, no foul play, obviously because they're clueless and have no freaking idea what happened to Sebastian. But he just didn't vanish. It's a fucked up case. It's very frustrating. No, like you can't help but feel bad for Seth, right? Come on now. Or even the Proudfoots if they have nothing to do with it. But you can't help but feel bad for Seth. Like which direction do you look? Let's imagine how we feel. And we're not any like the parents of Sebastian. And we feel frustrated. And we have no answers because we don't understand it. We don't get it. There's nothing to get. So imagine how he feels, and this is his son going out there looking for him, and you have no clue where the fuck he could be, where you should be looking. You got FBI, TBI not giving you diddly shit for any information to know if they've checked on certain leads. You know, like Seth said, like, you know, when I said, well, you know, do you believe perhaps someone abducted him? Da 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 da. You know, and he's like, you know, basically saying that, well, they're circumstantial, but they're not interested. Well, they're not interested for a reason. Typically, if they're not interested, it's for a reason, you know, you would think. And that reason would be because they know that that's the wrong path, right? Or else it wouldn't make sense. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. Okay, but I guess I should wrap this up because I'm going to yawn. Okay, I'm going to yawn. I got to go to work tomorrow. I got to get up at 6:20 actually is when I set my alarm for. I like to get to work about a half an hour before, get all set up and everything. So anyways, Shane Nolan, thank you very much for the $2 super chat. Again, Seth Rogers, Cash App, if anyone has a few bucks, you know, please give it to Seth Rogers, to his Cash App. If not, go to the GoFundMe. Both of the links are in the description of this video. The up at the top there, it's tagged. It's $TMB Fleming. Okay, that's the Cash App. So if you do have a few bucks, just help the dude out, right? I mean, he's just trying. Like you know that you got bills to pay. You know, I'm sure even the deputy sheriff or deputy working as a deputy in Davidson, you know, who knows how that works with the leave and stuff like that. But if it wasn't for the generosity of people, you know, he couldn't be out there searching, I'm sure, all this time, you know, without the help of really great people there. Who's messaging me? That's my husband. My husband's probably going, baby bed. Yeah, baby. Anyways, you guys, please hit the like and the share. Thank you guys very much for joining in this live. Thank you, Aspen Connor. Again, thank you, Shane, for the super chat. And thank you to Seth Rogers for joining us yesterday, as well as James Baker. Anyways, and yeah, and thanks for all the new people that subscribe and everything. Like, actually, you know what? Okay, whatever. Love you all. Okay, you guys all have a great night, and we'll see you soon. Yeah, absolutely, Anne. Okay, I'll put up Anne's last comment here. So you're so right about possessed frustration, feels desperate to do anything, find his son, but increasingly not knowing what to do. Absolutely. I'm sure, like anything, it's 43 days. Every person goes through certain stages, hope, then frustration, whatever the stages are. And I just feel sorry for the man, like I said, you see the hurt, like he's exhausted. He is tired. He is worn down. He's exhausted. So if we can do anything, it's to spread awareness, help Seth, spread awareness, right? We can, like I said, put videos and that into the algorithm and stuff like that to help share. People can donate to his app, or the GoFundMe. Just anything you can do to help the man, right? I just always think of it like if you needed that help yourself, wouldn't you want these kind generous people to help you out? That's how I always look at it, because like I said, I think of this, not only do I think of this as a family community for this channel, but I also just think of it as, in this world, like I said, what you put out to the universe and what you get back, you reap what you sow. So if you put out a lot of kindness and generosity and stuff like that, trust me, you'll be rewarded 10 times more than those people out there that are just like the leech suckers of the life and, freaking bring darkness around the world. I'd rather any day be kind, giving, and sharing and caring than this dark, negative personality. It's one of the most. Can I preach something? Because I do find that, like, no matter how many times someone might say it's cheesy, my honest reward for people is when somebody can do something for somebody, or I can do something to help somebody out, and watch that person look at you and just be so grateful that you cared about them enough, that you helped in some small way to them. I love that feeling. It fills my heart up every day when I can do something. So that's why I appreciate people's kindness, especially the ones that are like truthful, kind people, and that really can help out others. I don't know. I just love that in people. I don't have to put up with trolls. I don't have to put up with the negative people that come in here, but I so do appreciate people that have kind, generous hearts that can help others. And it doesn't have to be a monetary reason. It's just about being kind to other people and helping people, even if they're a stranger to you, right? What you put out to the universe is what you get back from it. So I just enjoy seeing that people can do something for somebody else. Doesn't take a lot. Anyways, you guys, love you. Thank you for joining us. You guys have a great night. Thank you, mods. Ben, as always, amazing. Sharon Parker, love you. You guys that have been chat, Jenny from the block. That is so true. But anyways, appreciate you guys. And Vroom, thank you always for your, nice, wise comments all the time. Georgia Rays, yep. Sebastian, Green Hearts, Betty H, Crafty One, yep. Sebastian, like I said, if you're a member, always make sure you're using or try to use that Sebastian Greenheart one with his face on it, just for the sake of it's a member one, and it's special. My son and I went out on Easter to give uncrustable sandwiches to the homeless. My son saw a guy digging through the trash for food. He said, we have to do something. Absolutely, right? No judgment. Just humans are humans. There's good people and bad people, type of thing. So, like I said, for me, I don't care who I'm talking with. Everyone, to me, is a human being. Just among those human beings, there can be big old pieces of shit, but there can be very nice people amongst it as well. Anyways, you guys, good night. Okay, sweet dreams. You guys, we'll see you soon, perhaps on Wednesday. Love you guys. Take care. And outro. Oh, prayers for Sebastian, of course. And yeah, let's hope we get some answers one day for Sebastian and for Seth and the other family members that are truly missing Sebastian. Take care, guys.